Hello, 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 everybody. How are we doing tonight? Oh, whoa, what do you mean game audio is not done? Oh my god, hang on. I gotta get the game audio up. Alright, welcome on in, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another rendition of the Raven Online. I am your host, NTO, for tonight, Tanara Kun. And joining us and guiding us through the action tonight, we have one returning face to the commentator's nest and a brand new face for us. Let's go ahead and get them introduced. redmagemorgan, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing great tonight. I'm happy to be back. I'm excited for some BlazBlue in tonight's bracket. It's looking pretty juicy, so yeah.
Excellent to
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, love to have you. And we also have a brand new face for the commentaries nest tonight, but you know him if you've listened to almost any BlazBlue Central Fiction online bracket. Give it up for Salté. How you doing?
Howdy, howdy. I am doing just fine myself. I'm ready for another BlazBlue bracket here with the Raven Online, and I am pleased to be here, not only commentating for the Raven Online, but also with redmagemorgan, who I've actually worked with in a bit. So it's going to be a good bracket, and I'm excited to see how things are going to shake up, because as always, like you said, we're having a lot of strong players to last us through the night.
Hell yeah, it's nice to be working with you again.
Love to hear it. Yeah, speaking of those players, we got 21 entrants for tonight, so a bit higher than usual. So we're going to have a few more pre-top 8 matches to stream tonight, which we're going to start off with our round 1 match between Cammachino and Hound. So I will let you guys take it away, and let's get things started.
Well, all right. So we got Cammachino and Hound, two players I'm not super familiar with. I don't know if redmagemorgan knows a little bit more about them than I do.
I think we had some ideas on character. Were these the Tsubaki and Valkenhayn players I think we were thinking before? We're not quite sure though.
We're speculating a little bit. I think we heard Tsubaki around these parts. Like, oh, they could probably be playing Tsubaki or they could be playing Valkenhayn. I think it looks like Hound will be locking into the Valkenhayn though, so that's going to be really interesting. And we can see Cammachino hovering over that Noel, though it is still a possibility that we see the Tsubaki locked in later. But no, instead we're going to be getting Noel. So the two characters you don't see very often, but it's always exciting to see a Valkenhayn and a Noel, especially when they are really good as well. So it's going to be a surprise, and we're going to be picking the music too. Under Heaven, Destruction.
Nice, good song choice. I agree.
Yeah, not a bad choice right there.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, not only are these characters very rare, but seeing this particular matchup is pretty rare. So there's probably, I don't think I've ever seen it before. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Getting into start of the round.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen them before too, but it just comes down to how well both these players are going to be piling their characters. If you have Valkenhayn just playing extremely well, you can absolutely lock down the entire game just because of how strong his mix can be and his movement as well. But that movement, unfortunately, is not coming in when Cammachino is just locking down Hound here in this neutral state.
Yeah, it started off a little bit of scrambling in the air, but looks like Cammachino is starting to get the first nice hit and a big overhead in the corner out the stance. Nice stuff.
If you're not familiar with Noel, she can be extremely tricky as well, not only with her mix-up game, but her drive normals will also be granting her invincibility, which could be very useful as well when it comes to trying to negate some of that wolf mix that Hound may be trying to go for later in the round.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And Valkenhayn, having limited options on defense himself, being in that situation he was just in, it was not great.
Yeah, it's a bit ironic in that sense, where he has an incredibly strong offense, but his defense is weak to make up for that. And right now, Hound has been on the defense this entirety of this second round, and Cammachino is looking so strong. I think one more combo will be enough. We have OD, we have 50 meter, we just need to open up Hound one more time, but Hound, a perfectly timed OD will be getting out of the corner, and very nice reset into the wall state to get another pickup to add some more damage onto the board. Good block so far from Cammachino, and a great tech as well to get Hound off them, but now we're in OD!
Oh, just like you were talking about! They're making use of those cool Noel defense options right into the super. Not going to be quite. Oh my gosh. Okay. I was scared there. Maybe it was going to be enough to kill, but one last hit and scrambles. Oh my gosh. How did she end up on the other side? Cammachino taking that first game 2-0. Wow. Very convincing. There was definitely some signs of life there from Hound in the end, doing the Valkenhayn thing, opening up with a nice instant overhead, but ultimately.
But yeah, like we saw there, you saw that drive normal come out, and it's just so good at evading, not only in neutral, but during Valkenhayn's pressure as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how Hound opts to work around it as we get into the later rounds. And also, it kind of sucks too if you're playing Valkenhayn and you're constantly getting bullied by Noel, because she's not necessarily the highest damage character, but she ends up being like an average damage and an even high damage character as well when it comes to how low of a health pool Valkenhayn has to work with.
Definitely. It's like we've been talking about. He has some limited oh my god. Limited defensive options, limited health pool, so it makes your mistakes matter a lot. And Cammachino definitely making Hound's mistakes matter quite a lot with all this damage into the throw. That's going to close things out for sure.
And with a perfect, this is really just cementing Cammachino's momentum in this set so far. Like, absolute control.
Gosh,
there's the air once again. This is, I think, what, the second time Cammachino has gone for that, and it has worked out. No tech coming in from Hound, and that's going to be to his detriment, as now Cammachino has him locked into the corner. Great counter hit. This is going to be bringing Hound to essentially a one-touch situation, where a single combo for Cammachino will end this set. Don't let this be a double perfect. You still have that OD in the tank for that defensive mechanic, but so far Hound has been using it, and a great jump will get a nice counter hit to set him up into wall form.
Oh, and it's like you said, very wary of that, evasive option, but there's the burst, possibly the last one of the set! Oh my gosh, but he can't scrap with Noel in the air like that. Cammachino going to take that game with a very convincing 2-0 in both rounds as well. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, absolutely. A great performance for Noel as a character, really showing what this character can do. And I'm looking forward to see how Cammachino will be doing later on in the bracket as they move on to winners round 2 to play against Dawn. That's going to be a very scary match. And is honestly, no player really is going to be having a good time into Dawn. So we'll see how he ends up matching up into there, as well as seeing how Hound is going to be matching up down the loose side of the bracket, as they do have that one more opportunity to make things work. But that right there was our winners round 1 match. Hopefully y'all enjoy seeing some Noel and Valkenhayn, but we still have some more sets later on as well. You can see the players in the room already. We got Oni, NYC, and a random nail, 2 players you're going to be a little more familiar with.
Yeah, that being said, I'm not too familiar with them, so would you mind just dropping some info on them?
I know at least Oni NYC plays in a lot more brackets than a random nail. I'm actually not as familiar when it comes to a random nail, but if I remember correctly, Oni is a Ragna player. Hold on, I need to grab.
That sounds right, actually.
On my brain to remember. There's so many.
Sorry to put you on the spot. I feel bad.
No. You're no. I'm thinking. No. Oni NYC is a Ragna player. I was thinking about like some other players as well. Like, okay, am I thinking of the right person? Am I not? But no, Oni NYC Ragna player, going to be a bit more of like the, I guess you could call the character a little standard, but I think one of the most interesting things about Ragna as a character is that because he is a Shota with a pretty well-rounded kit of tools, that he can kind of play very differently depending on who is piloting him.
For sure, definitely. So would you say that Oni is more on what side of Ragna? Like the offensive side, defensive side?
I'll say more of like the mid-range, if that makes sense, where we're playing like offensive, we're playing defensive, nothing really coming out over the other.
Oh, did I just get disconnected from the room? 1 second.
But right now we do have a random nail stepping up, and based on that name and also based on the avatar we have here in the lobby, that feels like a Bang player. If it's not a Bang player, this is the greatest psyop we've ever seen in a BBCF bracket.
For sure. Oh my gosh. Oh, let me pass real quick. I had to leave the room. Sorry about that.
Good.
I didn't have to leave the room. They kicked me out because thank you, Blaze Report.
Absolutely. Yeah. Alt tab in the game or doing any shenanigans in the game are just not allowed. But now we're going to be getting into this next set, which, like I preluded to before, Ragna, Bang, a matchup that is very common here in the States, at least. Maybe not outside of the States, but because we have such prolific Bang players in the form of Greek Ascended Dust and Kobe, who play in brackets all the time. Well, Kobe more so than Greek. Greek is more just showing up at Bakers, but specifically with Kobe, we see him play a lot against players like Play Guy, even maybe Beta Dude a little bit too in tournaments. I know Beta Dude doesn't travel as much as he used to, but
yeah, I think they played a good bit in bigger tournaments for sure.
Yeah, but we kind of have like a idea of what we're working with here. Normally, Ragna is going to be kind of playing similarly to how you expect playing against a character like Hazama, where you're using your big air normals like JC to kind of set up a wall and lock down Bang so he cannot have all that air momentum and movement working in his favor.
Yeah, well, we'll see if that game plan can be applied, or maybe Bang can run them over with it. So let's see what that round start looks like.
Yeah, the round start usually is going to be on the defensive. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Random nail just going for that jump back. And I like Danny's approach there. Or, sorry, Oni's approach right there with the jump forward into that air button. Instantly knowing, like, Bang is wanting to be in the air. He wants to play defensive off the bat. So I'm going to go for an aggressive approach to get some extra damage starting us off. But speaking of extra damage starting us off, a random nail getting a nice combo on Oni, tossing him into that corner. And Oni with his back up against the wall, not scared at all. A random nail spending that burst to get Oni off him and back into the corner, but it's not going to work out.
And here comes Oni with that pressure, not blocking low after the 6D. It could be a little bit tricky. And let's see what this corner Oki looks like. We've got a little bit of meter to represent some defensive options, and there it is. Use that to pop right out. Random nail, just kind of taking his time, throwing some nails, jumping right back in.
Hey, Oni.
Oh my gosh, big 6D.
Yeah, that drive norm was so difficult to work with because of that guard point, and that explosion is going to be giving so much reward, but we missed the ender. No knockdown. Oni popping OD into the super, though. Trying to run up, press the button, not going to be allowed. A random nail, not able to kill just yet, though. Oni on a pixel of life, and at this point, a random nail should be able to squeak out the win here. Oh, unless
that RC, I think, is going to get him dead.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you can see Random Nail was so like cautious in going in, just kind of throwing nails, fishing for the hit, but Oni toughed it out and got that last hit into the RC for the round. Oh my gosh. Well, you gotta stay composed after that for sure. It can be hard, but... Oh, and like you were talking about before, the nice non-committal JAs into the knockdown, but EA back from a Random Nail. Steal his turn back.
A Random Nail, EA right off the bat, and we're also tossing out a lot of these... nails as well just to control this airspace, but so far Oni has not been actually getting hit by any of them. We got that poison applied though, so it did do a lot of damage for that combo. Oni, nice DP, getting out of that corner, good block.
And that punish too.
Should be the knockdown after this combo, and now we're going to be seeing that stagger pressure from Ragna that we're also used to. Oh, okay. We try to go for a late air dash into that JC to sneak out an overhead attempt, or at least keep Random Nail locked at the corner. But Random Nail instantly jumping out is going to be running away with this round, I think. We spend our resources, we can kill, but we're not going to be needing to use all our resources, because instead we're just going to toss out that nail umbrella, and that's going to be the job for him.
Yeah, the drive normal under the nail umbrella too to cover the DP was very, very smart. And looks like Random Nail is still feeling the momentum. Feeling very confident. Oh, gets jabbed out of the drive. I think that I didn't catch which drive normal that was, but hey, we're gonna go for the teleport again right away and use the drive to bait the DP yet again. It feels like Nail has the read on these reversals from Oni. Now Oni's paying the price for it, blocking all these overheads, but not the triple overhead. Oh my god, again.
Huge hit. Random Nail is going to be closing off of this as we spend all of our resources to pop that OD straight into the super, get the maximum damage from this confirm, and with that, a Random Nail has secured game number 1. Though that did come down pretty close, definitely had to fight for that, and Oni certainly had a pretty solid sense of playing that defense against Bang with tools like the DP. But so far, it feels like a standard Bang matchup in the sense that Random Nail is setting the pace for this entire set, and Oni is the one that has to succumb to it.
I definitely agree with that. Oni definitely has to make some sort of adaptation, because a lot of these reversals are kind of just like getting him killed. So we'll see if he can adapt to that pace you were talking about. Currently eating poison and a counter hit 5B, so not looking great currently, but I mean, it's doing a lot of Ragna's health. He is not a very high health character. Oh, into the empty low. Scary stuff. I don't think this is going to be quite enough to kill. But definitely one touch.
So either, but all 4 seals unlocked, and the nail umbrella is able to get set up afterwards as well. Great blocks from Oni. But we can't punish that OD, leaving us at 0. Random Nail working on a perfect right now, needs that one final hit. Oni's getting hit by that EA from a Random Nail as a reversal. That's honestly not the worst position you're going to be finding yourself in, because at least you got that OD out of a Random Nail. So we're going to be at a pretty even resource advantage when it comes to this next set, or next
for sure.
round here.
But for that to matter, Oni will have to take this round at least first, and it's looking pretty good for that so far. We've got some corner Oki. Going for those Ragna staggers we've been talking about, but nice drive out of the corner. I don't think Oni has been dealing with those very well, so I don't think Nail has no real reason to stop using the drives the way he's been.
No, not
Minus
at all.
like maybe one punish. Oh, great conversion off the nails.
Okay, this should be all 4 seals. That's going to be increasing the damage of his combos.
Oh.
But that overhead not getting followed up on, fading out the DP, getting that counter hit as well. A random nail looking real good. Not going to bait out the burst, as Oni will get a successful hit.
Okay, random nail believes in it here. You're gonna burst right back. A
Man,
great
grab
DP.
super. Yeah, that's not going to work out. As long as you are air actionable and you can go for something like DP or OD, you're going to be safe against that command grab super from Bang.
And just like that, that advantage you mentioned before, or well, the advantage that a random nail had on overdrive before is kind of gone with that burst. This is a real big chance for. Oh, do we have a desync? It's a little weird. Yeah, I don't know what it looks like on your screen.
Yeah, I have a desync too, I'm pretty sure.
Oh man, what an unfortunate time to desync.
I don't know.
Are we back?
Hold on. No. I
We're
don't
in
think we
combos,
desync
okay.
at all. We got combos, so that's definitely not desync. I think we were just like getting mixed up by how that neutral was playing out, looking a little too goofy.
Ooh, another DP baited with the RC to keep it safe.
Counter assault, poison applied to Oni. That's going to be ticking away at that health bar.
So much damage. Great match out.
Any nails used as well. I know, a bit limited when it comes to this late game burst. Wait, was that a burst bait attempt? We just ended our combo early there. Fatal counter.
Ooh, it's looking a little weird again.
Maybe we have been desynced.
Yeah, maybe we had a moment of clarity for just a second. So, looks like in our desynced world, Oni took that. We're gonna have to wait to see in the chat what the actual result is. So, either of you guys are okay. We're running it back, so I think it was Oni taking it. So that would make sense.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird. We had flashes of desync and then flashes of not. I'm not even sure how that even works.
Yeah, I feel like I caught up and then it was like, no, I forgot actually. I'm lost again. Anyways, we're back into it. Hopefully this is some real games this time. This is looking pretty real. Nice J's from Oni to lock things down. But oh my god, getting counter hit during the bang, stagger pressure.
Setting up a ram nail into a pretty solid position. All 4 seals. Not able to. Oh, okay, we are going to be setting up that bumper.
Oh my gosh, Oni is not afraid to be DPing. Nice back throw.
Okay, throw into the corner. Oni going to be getting some nice damage off this confirm. 3.2k, always respectable with Ragna. OD getting himself out, but what a jump back into that JC, catching a random nail. Good awareness from Oni.
I gotta be aware of that. OD.
I won't have EA available anymore. Teleport out. Oni going to play this patient. DP though in the air. That might be tossing. That might be hammering that final nail into his coffin. As a random nail is tossing back into the corner once again. That nail.
Roll out.
Umbrella going to be chasing him down. Poison nail getting blocked. Oh my god. Both need that one more hit.
I don't think that's gonna. Oh, that is a safe jump. Oh no! Wait, okay. There were a lot of mistakes just there, but Nail is gonna close it out in the end. Gosh, that was. I was afraid there was another desync again. I'm not gonna lie, but I think that was just a little bit of a fumble. Oh, but here we go. Oni answering back. Great JC jump in, going all the way to the corner. Ragna's corner carry is really good. Oh my gosh.
OD activation.
Oh.
5A punish. Into the corner now. Oh, no. Instead, we're just going to be keeping him out of the corner to go for that 8-way mix up here.
Oh my gosh, and so much of Oni's health is gone. Very little leeway to make this comeback.
A random nail. No, not able to finish off that combo. RC just send the pressure
grab.
into the throw, and that's actually a throw counter as well. So there's nothing that Danny could have done about that.
Yeah, no chance to OD either. The damage is enough to seal up the game, and a random nail taking it. Nice stuff. Yeah, that last game, I feel like it's hard to comment on game 2, but that last game definitely felt right back into random nail's favor. I feel like kind of like he lost control in bits in game 2, but it was like, nah, I'm gonna lock in. I've got your number at this point.
Yeah, and his offense just looks so incredibly strong. It's kind of like what you expect from, well, Well, no, let's not word it that way. But basically, it felt like once he got his offense started, it felt like Oni really struggled to play defense against him, specifically with that OD. And to Oni's credit, blocking that OD is incredibly hard. It is one of the best ODs in the game.
For sure.
But yeah, but it really did feel like once we started that pressure with Bang, Oni really struggled to get out and have answers for it outside of something like DP. And while granted DP did land a few times and did get him out of those situations, once he's back in, he had to gamble on that DP once again, or wait and spend meter to DP RC to stay safe afterwards. So you're also using more resources than you have to.
Yeah, using resources and taking big risks, because eventually one of those DPs is going to get baited and you die for it.
But now we're going to be going on to our other winners round 2 match. It's going to be between Quetzalgoatl and Z. Z actually a local from my area. I think
awesome.
His name is Walk 2A on here. But Z played Hakumen mainly before, but is actually starting to learn that Amane. So I'm really interested to see how the progression with his character has been for him, because I've actually not seen his Amane for a few months at this point. But so far, if this is a start to go off of, this is a great showing for Z to kind of just zone out Quetzalcoatl. And that's one of the things that Susano'o is going to be struggling against the most, is playing against a zoning character.
Yes, especially Amane with all of his mobility options. Like, even Susano'o, I feel like with seals, can probably struggle to lock him down sometimes. But this is absolutely the situation that Susan will be able to lock him down in. Not many defensive options. Going to be eating a lot from this. Plenty of unlocks, too. This is probably like a one-touch situation if the touch is good. I think, okay, that's probably going to be enough.
Yeah, we have.
I'm not too familiar with the routing.
Oh no, okay, not. Maybe because we still had to spend 50 meter to extend that combo. I'm actually not too sure.
I think Bro is just a little heavily scaled, but...
Yeah, probably that too. But either way, worked out for Ketz. And you can see right there is that once Quetzalcoatl was able to get in, that's where the snowball could finally start. And like he said before, Amane with that weak defense really struggles to play against Susano'o, who can be so overwhelming once he has all of his tools unlocked. And you're seeing it right here. We're unlocking all of our most important tools. We got God Press, we got Sword, we got our super, and we're going to be nearly killing Z. It wasn't quite enough in that moment, but that single air move will be locking him out of that game with a perfect Quetzalcoatl is making a statement.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm very surprised it wasn't quite enough. That was like 1 health away. That was crazy. But yeah, I feel like at the start of the game we were very much seeing the neutral you'd expect from the matchup before the snowballing. And Z definitely had a handle on that, but it was like a few mistakes in the end of the first round and through most of the second round that led to the end. But we've got the DP unlock there from Susan. That's a big thing to have. Lets you defend against the rejump pressure a lot better. And Z is getting opened up at that overhead.
We're also getting the sword unlocked as well. You can tell that Quetzalcoatl is actually prioritizing that more often than the Sin or the Grand Viper. And the reason why is because we want to be able to counter poke Amane from afar.
Yes, it's going to help round out that toolkit a little bit.
Okay, that's super going to waste, unfortunately, for Z, as Quetzal is going pelting him with these 6Bs and these swords on his block. Nice dive kick, though, getting out of that corner.
Oh my gosh, and the 6A anti-air.
Afterwards as well, looking good. This is going to be locking out Quetzalcoatl for a little bit longer as he stays here in the corner, but we need to be getting our drill levels up. Oh, avoid the DP, though. That's huge, but we dropped our combo. Still, another pickup. Z kind of winning in these scramble situations.
It's definitely not going to be quite enough, but we do have some pretty scary Oki to worry about first.
Unfortunately, Amane not known for doing very much damage, and that is unfortunate to see. Z getting eliminated by that wake-up sword from Ketz.
For sure. We've got one last round, though, where we're headed off to losers. Z still has one more chance, and Quetz believing in the momentum. Gonna burst. Oh my gosh, and that trade not quite working out for Z. We're gonna go almost all the way to the other corner. Oh my god, and just roll back.
Okay,
oh my gosh, 2C.
Yeah, representing that 2C now. Big anti-air that covers both sides. Unfortunately, 4Z going to get snapped as well as that God Press, the RC for the extension, and Quetzalcoatl will be cleaning up that set with a very dominant 2-0.
Yeah, there were some more signs of life there from Z towards the end, especially in that first round, but the snowball power of Susano'o. I was mixing up my words there, and Quetz in particular was too much for him to handle. So we'll be seeing NZ maybe a little later in the losers brackets. Not quite out of it yet, but Quetz moving on in winners.
Absolutely. We'll
On to
love to
play.
see show up later on in the bracket, see if we can see that top 8 coming in. But with the bracket as stacked as this, it's going to be a little bit difficult.
For sure.
But just to update y'all on the bracket so far, we have Quetzalgoatl, of course, moving on over Z. We're still finalizing some more winners round 1 and a round 2 matches. But speaking of round 2 matches that have finalized, we have actually Javon and spritecranberry. The results have come in, and spritecranberry taking out Javon 2-1. And that's
Nice.
kind of I feel like Javon has shown lots of consistency in online brackets and offline brackets in terms of his placing, but spritecranberry piling that Azrael has always been like that thorn in the side that he has really struggled with that matchup. So seeing that 2-1, honestly, as much as I want to root for Javon, is not a surprise to me.
Yeah, no,
he's my
great.
guy though, so I can talk a little bit about him.
Which one? Sprite or Javon?
Javon. Like if I want to be a little bit negative about him, I'm sure he wouldn't take it the wrong way. But yeah, no.
I gotta say, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, for where people rate Azrael on the tier list, people usually rate him a little lower. I hear a lot of people say they have problems with like Azrael, like the rare Azrael appearing in bracket, and it's understandable. The character can be annoying, you know.
Yeah.
Very belligerent overheads.
Yeah, very belligerent overheads, damage. And the way he can just get in on you as well if you're not representing that you know the answers to his offensive tools. Take Gustav, for example. That's essentially a get in button if I feel like it. But if the opponent shows that they can IB it, then suddenly Gustav is not going to be as belligerent of an option for him anymore. Same thing with those teleport mix-ups, right, with his dash. If you can represent that you can mash against it and punish him for doing those, then suddenly that does not become that much of an issue for you anymore.
For sure. But it looks like a little bit of an issue for Dawn right now. Sprite's going to take this corner. Backing up. Unfortunately, the doll is going to make some pressure here. Sprite's going to have to block and getting hit by the 2D on the cross-up from the doll. We're going a little bit to the, well, a little bit off of a blue beat to the corner.
Oh, DP attempt. He's usually really good with those DPs as well. He usually has great DP sense with knowing when to DP and making sure that he hit. In that instance, that was really just used as an escape option, just so you weren't getting bullied in the corner by that doll, especially if Dawn is able to get that duelist Faust online.
Not a lot of dog gauge working. Oh my god, the big counter at 5C is absolutely going to hurt. We're going to apply that upper weak point. Throwing the lead blade. Dawn likes to represent that option a lot, I feel like, compared to other Reliuses. And Sprite may be aware of that. Either way, punishing it and taking that first round.
Yeah, Sprite has played against Dawn quite a bit in online brackets, so I'm sure that after playing against Dawn so much, he can kind of get an understanding of the timing of that lead lay. And now Dawn is going to have to play a little more careful when he intends to use it. But right now, he does not have to worry about it because he's not on the defensive and he's on full offensive right now, tacking on that damage with all of these openings that he's making. And that dog gauge looking pretty as well. Sitting at nearly full. He's going to have so much to work with. Those spritecranberry going to be interrupting it with that dive kick.
Yeah, it's hard to scramble in the air against Azrael sometimes. Oh my gosh, but unfortunately, you're still sandwiched between Relius and the doll. Not quite finishing that confirm, though. Sprite left with a little bit of HP and a decent bit of meter. Doing that passive bonus with low health, too.
So that's going to be a factor here. Spritecranberry, though, making sure that Dawn can't play the game. Take him to the corner. No, we dropped the combo.
Yeah, you don't want to give him a chance to breathe and do a BIOS here, but unfortunately, Sprite a little too over anxious to end things. It gets anti-aired by the doll. The Dawn gonna tie things up. Burst's looking about even though, so very even game so far.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be duos biosing in the mid screen like that. I know Dawn does like to represent it a lot, but the problem with that is just kind of a waste of meter because it's not really doing too much to you. And unfortunately, Relius can't be doing much on his own if the doll is not keeping the lockdown. So I'm not sure if we're going to be seeing that as an option from Dawn later on, though it can't help because Azrael has a little bit more of a linear approach compared to other characters.
Yeah, his movement can be a little bit more limited at times, but fortunately, Dawn doesn't seem to be worried about that at all. Oh my god, with the empty low too. Ooh, dropping the confirm a little bit.
Take these 2 A's instead until my dog gauge recovers. Spritecranberry afraid to press, but now getting smited by the doll. Dawn with a perfect. is going to be sneaking away with that game. Number 1, though, spritecranberry taking a round off of Dawn, and that round did look pretty strong for him. So I'm interested to see if spritecranberry can do a little bit more later on. Spritecranberry, though, has beaten Dawn in brackets before, so it certainly still is a possibility.
Absolutely. I would say, despite that last round, that was overall a very close game. So we'll see if this game is any different. Let's check this round start. A little bit more reserved. Sprite taking back some space, but getting counter hit on the way in by the doll. I forget which special that is. But either way, Don's going to be bringing this to a corner. Nice, like, 4k damage. Jeez, that is quite a lot. In the empty low again. Sprite's going to be eating a lot. That doll gauge is refreshing. Don, very aggressive in his use of that overdrive to constantly keep the doll mix coming. To the point that, like, yeah, he's not even worried about running out of doll gauge this game. Unless, oh no, the empty low is working yet again. That's going to be a nice perfect, sealing things up.
Oh man, 2 perfects in a row. That's gotta feel bad. And now Dawn on a set point is threatening this win here to knock Sprite into loser. Sprite still holding on to that OD in that burst, so that could be a factor early on in this round. Getting high weak point applied, though. Dawn getting himself out of that corner, sending the doll down to keep Sprite locked down in the corner instead, stealing the corner away from him as he's going to be taking a little bit more of the health away with these sneaky overheads, though not able to confirm off of them for too much damage.
Oh, but the drop is really unfortunate.
Yeah, these drops are going crazy for Dawn, a bit uncharacteristic for him.
Man, Azrael combos are so cool. And this is definitely going to close things out if Don lets him, which I assume he will. This is going to be a real hard round to come back on. And yeah, Sprite tying things up real fast. Oh my gosh. Where did that round go?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was like one dropped combo and just Sprite's like, cool, I win now.
Yeah, Azrael combos, you certainly feel the impact of every single one of those hits. And but right now we're not gonna be seeing any Azrael combos. Don instead opting to lock him out early on, spending that OD, getting some extra damage. Great air tier as well. Sprite stuck in the corner for a little bit longer.
Got all this doll gauge to hold too. There's the burst, possibly the last burst of the game, or of the set from Sprite. Taking his time, can't really rush into the doll with Azrael's limited movement options.
But Sprite can
here's a chance
into Dawn right now. Push that aggression when he doesn't have that doll available.
Oh my gosh, Don's so comfortable just jumping out, not really scared.
Oh no. Yeah, that's one of the big problems with puppet characters. They're going to be taking turns and covering each other's weaknesses. And in that moment, that doll might have gotten hit, but Relius sure did not. Dawn taking it over spritecranberry to move on to winner's side top 8 over there in the semifinals, as you usually see from him. But good showing from spritecranberry, almost taking that game away from Dawn, evening us up. So spritecranberry is definitely a sure contender for loser side top 8.
For sure. Yeah, Don, very commanding offense and lockdown mix as always. I think he played really good defense against Azrael in that set. I think that's the thing that stood out to me on why he took that W there. Just like not really afraid to jump out at all, and Sprite really wasn't ready to cover that option, the jump out of the corner from Don. So
yeah, and speaking of like covering options, covering escape options, you can see that Don was showing a masterclass of doing exactly that, where he was holding spritecranberry down in the corner with the doll, but while he's doing that, he will jump up and do an air button just in case if spritecranberry is able to escape that corner and maybe tries to jump out, because we saw that multiple times before where we saw like great air to airs from Don to keep him locked in. So the idea of keeping him on the ground with the doll and then at the same time covering any escape option that he could be going for, really built up to that win for Don.
For sure, man. Relius doll gauge is so scary. It feels like when he has high doll gauge, sometimes you have to just sit there and wait till he drains it. But that's the nature of puppet characters. We're moving on to the next game, which will have no puppet characters in it, but instead we will have a Taokaka from Ryuka-sim representing that secondary.
Yeah, I always enjoy seeing Ryuka-sim play. And while Ryuka-sim, I think, is a little bit more known for the Hakumen, I think I personally enjoy seeing him play the Taokaka way more.
Me too.
And also because how many Taokaka players actually exist, right? There's Root Sim, there's Sea Hill, there's Witch Hazel, and then the list just ends there for me.
For sure. And, you know, I want to give some attention, obviously, to the person on the other side, Fuzzama. No slouch himself. I think that I've seen Rikusen pick Tao into this matchup before, so I think this might be a matchup-specific pick, so we'll have to see.
And I think it's really just taking advantage of the movement that Taokaka provides, and also the fact that Hakumen does not have the strongest defense. So because of that, Taokaka doesn't really have to worry as much as compared to other characters if they're going to have like an explosive getaway.
For sure, and oh my gosh, yeah, making great use of that movement with that little low profile on the landing there. Into the low air dash in overhead, we're gonna be getting a little bit of damage. Taokaka not quite known for her high damage most of the time. But that overdrive, not quite working out for Fuzz. Still ticking though, oh my gosh. That lasted way too long.
Scared to escape the corner. Scared that Rikusen is going to interrupt him in the process with these clear buttons and all the movement he's representing, and a great counter. I mean, Rikusen is just constantly on Fuzzama, not giving him a time to breathe. You got to be locking him out of the game right there. Look at that. Great performance from Rikusen with that Taokaka. Okay, that was round number 1. Going to Rikusen. Going into round number 2. There's going to be a counter hit. Honestly, I feel like it's a little bit more favored into Rikusen. Though Fuzzama trying his best to set out this change, trying to catch Rikusen, but Rikusen is like that fly that you cannot swat.
For sure. Oh my gosh, but here we go. We do have a chance to make something happen here for Fuzz, and getting opened up by the stance. Oh, but oh my gosh, that's a drop you don't see very often, but we're gonna, just again, trade working out a little bit in Fuzz's favor. Punishing that backdash, I think that was, I couldn't even see we were off the scope. Oh my gosh, so much is happening right now.
All the missed attempts, everything getting punished. Counter assault from Fuzzama. So
great jump back.
Our defensive options. We don't have any more defensive options anymore. OD burst is gone. Meter is gone. No more counter assault on the table. OD activation. That is perfect textbook right there. We should be able to go into the super after this final opening, and that is it. Rikusen, look at that.
Yeah, gosh, I got a little bit scared because it seemed like there's a little bit of a drop there on the OD combo at the end, but you know, we got it in the end. That was a great overdrive.
That's how you win games with Taokaka. That's
how you hit the overdrive button?
No.
Oh, okay.
You skirt the line of life and death, where you're like at the pixel of life left, but you still somehow squeeze a win after like all the drops that you do and all the mix-up that you try to enforce.
Oh, that definitely sounds about right. We'll see what the adaptation is for Fuzz. The jump back chains, the classic. Definitely gonna be doing some work.
Setting up the knockdown, backing up, using those chains to keep Rikusen locked down into the follow-up. Fuzzama going to be getting a nice opening.
Oh my gosh!
Trying to keep Rikusen in the corner with an air tear attempt, but Rikusen with a great throw will be tossing him into the corner instead.
Oh, but the nice calm jump out is gonna get the burst from Rikusen. Oh my god! Did that autocorrect? That was crazy.
That hurt to see. That hurt to watch.
Oh my gosh, yeah, really clean round from Fuzz. Jeez. Where did that round go?
Oh dear. Alright, well, we'll see what Rikusen has to offer going into the next round.
A little bit of a scrambly air interaction into a nice knockdown from Rikusen here, but just rolls right out. Unfortunately, can't quite get away from Tao. She is fast as all hell. Oh, big whiff, can't quite capitalize, but oh my gosh, look at all these air scrambles. This is crazy. Ooh, I can stream 1 second. We got a slight DC on the commentator side. Let me know if this looks good.
Looks good to me.
Awesome. Getting open up by the stance low into the super.
This is what I come back to watch. I see the Hotel connect into the OD activation. That is dead. Rikusen is not living to see tomorrow with that one.
I didn't know for a while that the damage over time from Hazama OD ticks during like super flash and super animation and stuff. Such a crazy overdrive. There's so much like hidden damage that doesn't even show up on the combo counter.
Yeah, it's very similar to something like the Bang Poison Nail, where we'll say like, oh yeah, this says 3k damage, but it's more like 4k because of all the
Yeah, Rachel's got that too. It's so scary. You're just like, where is all my HP going when you're getting hit by it?
And still, even with that in mind, he still does insane amount of damage, like despite the life
Yeah.
as well. So, but it's only really going to be available to him in OD. Hazama not really a high damage character on average. He's going to be very similar to Taokaka in the sense where he's going to be getting very middling damage for most of the round, unless he gets like a really good confirm.
Right, like that confirm you just had actually, right into overdrive.
Right.
Perfect example. Right now we're scrambling around a little bit. Doesn't feel like either player wants to commit to something huge, but here comes Ryukasim with a little bit of a chance, but Fuzz slipping right out the double chain to bait the anti-air. Great overdrive through the... Oh my gosh, that was really weirdly timed. We've got a lot of cats flying around. Oh my gosh, they are ready for these air scrambles, but the landing situation is going to break open Fuzzama. Here comes Ryukasim. Getting a nice... Oh, again, another little drop into the air throw. No. Ryukasim not ready for the tech. Oh my gosh, the hero burst.
The apple. Oh, straight to the purple throw. Meet me up in the air and get dunked right down. Zama on set point.
JA purple throw is dastardly. Oh my gosh.
The Hazama classic. If you're up in the air, you're either going to get JA'd or you're going to get air thrown. That's just how it is.
For sure. Oh my gosh, we are out of there with those tower drives. All right, let's see if we can keep Fuzz locked down. It feels like he's had a real easy time slipping out the past few rounds. But this, yeah, is looking pretty good. And the low is finally going to open him up. Here comes Ryukasim. Oh my god, let them roll out.
Oh no. Okay, X hit all the way down. Good counter hit though. Good punish coming up with Ryukasim. Taking on some extra damage, but we're only going to be hitting those 2K benchmarks. We need to be continuing to keep this pressure going. And unfortunately for Ryukasim, Fuzzama is playing very slippery. We need that one or more hit to close things out. Good anti-air from Fuzzama, though unable to confirm off these straight hits. And well, but it's not going to matter as Ryukasim should be able to close up this round as we spend that super to get that finisher.
Nice, we're going to tie things up. One last chance here for both players. Slight burst advantage favoring Fuzz, but like all things considered, it's really not that much. Can't quite convert off that chain hit, but we're going to get a little bit of a knockdown off of that. See what this pressure sequence is looking like. We're going to go on the other side with chains. Do a nice little knockdown. Gonna probably go real close to the corner.
You gotta just build your own
combo. Oh, great backdash!
Yeah, like you said, a great backdash on that defense from Ryukasim. Taokaka not known for a great defense either, but unfortunately for Ryukasim, we're going to be smacked by that 5B after that OD, and that's going to be it. Speaking of high damage, that's not shown on the screen, that lifesteal ring, making sure that kills in the end. Great stuff to Fuzzama taking over Ryukasim. Ryukasim coming very close with that Taokaka, though not ending up working out in the end. Taokaka, Ryukasim sent down to loser side of the bracket, so has that one last chance to make things work, and we'll have to play against Javon with an S, so we could potentially see him pull up that Hakumen later on. But now we're in top 8. I think we're going to be taking a little bit of a break as we wait for the losers matches to wrap up. So in the meantime, y'all have a good one and grab a snack. We're going to be back in a minute.
Oh, one thing I want to add before we step away. We do have a Matcherino again this time. Yeah, Janara just pinged that in chat. Go ahead and click on that. We have some sponsor quests from, what is the name of the organization? Salté, I completely forgot. Paragon. Yes, Paragon FGC. You can complete them. It's simple stuff. It's all free. This involves like following them on various social media and whatnot. So if you can go ahead and check that out, it's free money to the players. We would very much appreciate it. So yeah, we're going to take a little bit of a break. Like Salté mentioned, go ahead and click that. Yeah, see you guys in a bit.
1 second.
Howdy, howdy. Hopefully y'all have gotten a snack, gotten a drink, went to the restroom, because we're back with top 8. We're got all of winners aside completely finalized here, as we have Dawn versus Quetzalgoatl, as well as Fuzzama and a random male. Going to be our first stream matches of top 8. And on the loser side, we're going to be waiting a little bit to see who ends up qualifying. Currently, we have a few contenders though. Mastfam down there on the loser side already confirmed. And right now we're waiting on the results between spritecranberry and Garnex, as well as Akin and Z, and Arukasim and Devon. So a lot of contenders we still have for that loser side of the top 8. But we're going to be seeing that finalized as we get through these winners matches first.
Awesome, yeah. I think we're starting off with Don and Quetz. Awesome. I think I've seen, well, I have been missing a few streams recently, but I personally have not seen this match in a hot minute, so I know this does happen quite a bit. Yeah.
It feels like they're playing all the time, dude. Quetzalcoatl
Yeah.
is like one of those players who's not necessarily like getting seeded up with like Ice Cool and Kobe, but is always seeded into like Dawn as like his round 2 or something like that. But Quetzalcoatl certainly capable of beating Dawn. I've seen it happen many times, and I'm sure it can happen now if Quetzalcoatl chooses to lock in here, which we'll see. It all depends on basically the Susano'o game plan of if he can get that snowball rolling, then he's set. But if he ever gets that snowball stopped, or he's completely locked out of getting those specials unlocked, then suddenly he's going to be having way harder of a time.
Absolutely. So far that defense is holding strong, but oh, as I say it, I curse this poor guy. All that barrier gauge gone too. This is going to hurt Susan with a good bit of HP, but still not really many options in this situation.
Yeah, especially when you don't have your defensive tools like that DP unlocked. And I mean, you really don't have any of our special moves unlocked. So far, Dawn has been playing training mode with Quetzalcoatl right now, coming up with his own block strings, his own pressure tools, and practicing his confirmed, because right now, that's going to be a perfect for Dawn. Maybe? No, not quite. Quetzalcoatl still alive with a cheeky overhead, trying to get one final hit, and there is that final hit. Dawn actually, I think would have ended his turn off of that final button, but Quetzalcoatl getting smacked by it instead.
All right, we have a new fresh round, another chance without getting, snowballed. But nice 5B, gonna challenge a run up after the doll. Gonna get a DP unlock, which is pretty important. We also got Ground Viper as well, but great double jump from Dawn is gonna turn this into a conversion into the corner, and great bait on the DP.
Yeah, absolutely. Dawn covering that DP, going up high, so we're not going to get hit by it, and just covering it with that dog. Really smart stuff.
Oh my god, the one leg through the Viper? Okay.
Bot dodge through the Viper. Insane right there.
Hi, I thought they could be hit by lows. I guess I misremembered. Okay.
Nope,
we're getting tagged by the overhead.
Okay, now Dawn probably defensive, playing very well though. Now out of barrier gauge, however, but timing it for when Quetzalcoatl chose to go for Viper. Unfortunately, Viper can be rather predictable, and there are a lot of ways to bait it out and punish it.
Ooh. Unfortunately, getting tagged, trying to do something. I think I saw Quetz IBing the 214C from Dawn, and maybe slight misinput, but got tagged by the second hit, and that is going to be game 1. We are still at in 2 out of 3 land. The people who are winning in this round will get the honor of having a 3 out of 5 set.
We're not at winners finals just yet. We're just still working through winners at semis, but like you said, first to 2. So we're going to have to adapt a little bit faster than usual. And right now it is on Quetzalcoatl to show that he can adapt to Dawn in this moment, as Dawn has that lead. Looking pretty even there, and just baiting out the DP once again. Textbook play from Dawn as always, and Quetzalcoatl put in a difficult position yet again. That was only a temporary DP because that was part of our OD, and we didn't actually unlock any specials as a part of it.
Yup, unfortunately, that TP will not be available here. You have that meter, but that meter is not going to be helping against that.
Yeah, and once again, we're put in a similar situation to what we saw in round number 1. Quetzalcoatl, no burst, no
Nice.
OG, and unfortunately not able to get any of those specials unlocked until now. That's going to be unlocking our spin, unlocking our DP. I like how Quetzalcoatl is not waiting until he finds those hits for those combos to confirm his seals, but instead is using it and weaving it into his block strings. Good blocks, but unfortunately you can only block so long against duos bios as that second overhead connects and pushes Dawn to set point.
Yeah, it seemed like Quetz had a leg hold there, a room to actually start making a comeback, had some unlocks, but great movement by Dawn, got him out of that situation. Great blocks and all these overheads too. Oh my gosh, the challenge on the doll was great. Getting a little bit of punish there, a little bit of damage on the doll, but Relius doing his work to keep the doll safe, even in that little HP to get some time to. Oh my gosh, great counter hit on the 6B.
Good on Quetzalcoatl approaching when that doll gauge is low. Oh, but we tried to DP, and that was the perfect moment that Dawn opted to jump out. This is going to be basically putting Dawn into a winning position, even though we're at even health, because now we have all this doll gauge to work with. We're poking at Quetzalcoatl so far, but we're low on barriers, so we cannot be put on defense.
Doll is dead now, though.
I love these 2-2 spikes as well, but unfortunately, lead late attempt is going to get smacked. Very poor on that timing. And now
great throw!
Throw is probably going to cement this round here unless Dawn chooses to burst, which he will. Try to close it right here, right now. And the air from Quetzalcoatl finally gets his first round.
Yeah, that was great read on Dawn trying to lock him down. I forget the input for the little ground special thing, but just taking that chance to super jump up and him with a JA to, oh my gosh, lock things down. But as I'm saying that, there's the burst back from Quetz. Possibly the last one of this set. Gonna get some unlocks here. The jump out is gonna counter hit the 6B. Here comes Dawn. He's probably gonna go all the way to the corner, especially if Quetz gets opened up by the empty low there. And here we are again. Not a lot of options. Not even enough meter to counter. So going under the 5A.
5A.
Great low profile.
Massive for Quetz. JD getting that spin level 2. Uh-oh. That would have been a big whiff, but Dawn not able to get that punish. Counter assault from Quetzalcoatl, sending us back to neutral. But these spikes are giving Quetzalcoatl such a hard time.
But look at the doll gauge, though. We're going to have to unsummon and get a chance to get that bar back up. But the cost for that is the corner situation. But here comes Duo Bios to lock down Quetz.
Couldn't we have spent Astral to get the kill?
Yeah. Oh, I
had
guess
Astral.
so.
Yeah.
Oh, well, either way.
Well, let's hope that this combo kills instead. No, it's not enough. Quetzalcoatl still alive and kicking.
Great jump on the command throw. And the anti-air. All right, we're going to Grand Viper in. Still have overdrive from both sides. There it is from Dawn. Lead late through again.
Yeah. At certain point, it becomes a little predictable just because, like, oh, yeah, now he wants to basically get an overhead, right? He wants to ground viper, jump cancel, spin, right? RC, keep that pressure going. And that's kind of like one of the problems that Susano'o has to face a lot of times is working around barrier. And a lot of times the answer is, oh, I'm just going to ground viper to stay in. But then there comes that predictability of being able to become intangible to that ground viper. So good stuff to Dawn. Adapting really well in that first 2 format, and like you said, moving up to that first 3 format where he's going to be a little bit more comfortable sitting up there in winners finals. But now we're going to be going to our next set of winners side, where we're going to be finding out who plays against Dawn in winners finals. It's going to be between either Fuzzama or a random nail. Hazama, of course, the Hazama, and then a random nail on Bang. This is going to be the second set that Fuzzama has played this week that has been against a Bang in winner's side. And this is not a matchup that if you're a Hazama player, you just do not want to see it. You do not want to see a Bang on your set record, because Bang kind of invalidates Hazama in a lot of areas because of a simple tool, and that's his nails. The nails are just so hard to work around for Hazama, even if he can be slippery, even if he has so many tools to thread through the needle a lot of times. Randall can just toss out so many projectiles on the screen. As long as one of them hits, he's put into a really good position.
For sure. But thankfully, like, Fuzz is not a stranger to the matchup. I think, like you mentioned, like, this is something he has faced before. He's facing Kobe, who is obviously like a very strong player. So if you fought Kobe, you definitely have and have gone, you know, done pretty well versus him. You have the tools to deal with Bang. So we'll have to see how that plays out. I'm sure we're in for a very good set. Just as a reminder, like we mentioned before our little break, we do have that Matcherino. If you can go ahead and click those, do those little quests. Thank you, Tanara. It's free. It's free money to the players. I'm sure they all appreciate it. Let's put the money back in rotation to keep the CF scene going. So yeah.
Absolutely. And now that we're starting to get further and further into the bracket, you kind of have an understanding of who is going to be winning, and you'll know who your money is going to end up going to if you choose to either do the sponsor quest or donate to the prize pool yourself. I'm sure the players would appreciate it, and of course it's going to be stimulating the BBCF scene, so that players are going to be trying to get better and then trying to get a piece of that pie. But speaking of players trying to get a piece of that pie, it looks like both of our players are ready to roll here. Fuzzama versus a random nail, Hazama versus Bang.
Awesome, yeah. Character picks exactly what we were thinking. Still in 2 out of 3, so see how this game is looking.
Yeah, dude, if your name is a random nail, you better not be picking a character that is someone other than Bang, right?
Yeah, not throwing nails.
Like you're essentially naming yourself after the character. It's like if Daru Ino didn't play Ino. Like, what is he doing anymore? Like, why are we even here?
It's like if Fuzzama didn't play Hazama, honestly. It's kind of like the same thing. Right. Awesome.
Like, the day I die is the moment that Fuzzama pulls up to a bracket with a freaking taker, right? You know what I mean?
Oh, God. All right. Oh, my gosh. We're going to be using that drive to answer that EA very cleanly.
Another thing we didn't talk about as well, that's going to be playing a factor in this matchup, is that Bang can put on such an unrelenting offense. And we talked about before where Hazama has a weak defense, so it's going to be a little bit difficult trying to get out of the pressure that Bang is going to enforce once he gets put on the advantage.
For sure.
Here we
well,
go.
right now.
But there's 3k damage.
Oh,
okay, but there's teleport the explosion once again. Random nail. Just showing that, like, you cannot just press these buttons against him because he's going to be going straight through them a lot of times. Sets of the nail, actually destroying the nail umbrella, but not able to get himself out of that corner in the process.
Oh, really bad burst there, unfortunately. We're going right into the Hotenjin.
I think this should be enough to kill. We have the double super. We're going to be popping OD as well to increase the damage offense, but we dropped the combo. He's still alive. But a great
again.
hit. Unfortunately, not able to finish that combo either. A random nail still alive and kicking, but no more nails in the pocket. It looks like it's not going to matter as he's going to be placing himself into such a perfect position to go for that 5A punish.
Gosh, what a scrambly first round. We're getting back into the second one. Oh my god, the poison nail. Getting out of the command dash.
So good here.
Oh, great bait on that anti-air. That was sick. We're gonna be using. I love the way Random Nail is just like out the gate using these drives very heavily. I feel like compared to other Bang players, like he is just hitting that thing. No fear. You have to show that you're gonna deal with it, and then I'll stop. A great 2A on that overhead there. Gonna get a little float combo on a Random Nail. Azama. Oh my god, he's just jumping out. Alright, just blocking that out. Oh, nice conversion off the overhead. We're going to be flung right back into the corner. There's probably a one-touch area here, especially with the active flow on deck. Going to give us a little bit of damage that we need to seal things up, and we're in a 1-1 game.
That we are. Fuzzama bringing things back here.
Alright, let's peep this round start. Yeah, jump back, chain. That's about right.
Classic
That's what you'd expect.
For the ages.
Yeah.
Hazama always going to be playing as lame as possible with that jump back chain. And Bang is the one that has to be pushing that offense with that jump forward. In that process, taking that burst as well. Good position for Fuzzama right now. Yet to get hit and continuing to tack on more damage to a random nail and constantly work around all these nails in neutral as well. Great placements of these chains and placement of Hazama's body as well to make sure that we're avoiding them. Hotenjin? Yeah.
We have OD too.
ODEA, right? OD, there it is. Pull him in. There we go.
Nice stuff.
Yeah, Fuzzama always going to be getting the optimal combos when possible. I mean, that's one of the really cool things about watching Fuzzama play is the fact that he can basically just fully optimize any of his combos if he just get any straight hit. He's a louder
sure.
at heart, and you can definitely see it in his play.
It makes the drops that do happen ever so much surprising, I guess. Like most of the time he's got those on deck. So the few times it happened, like in that last game, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Hey.
But,
Oh my god, is that all skills unlock immediately? Okay, not yet, not yet.
Level 1.
OD. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh god, trade to EA. That's going to be granting Fuzzama active flow as well as a corner steal. Randall tossing the corner. Great air throw. Get back in the corner. Where do you think you're going?
Punishing that, I forget if it's the B or the C chain movement, but either way, Random Nail has his number. He's got that 5C overhead,
oh my
too.
god. I feel this in my soul.
I feel it in my head, honestly.
Not dead? Okay.
Oh, okay. Little blue beat off the nails to take it. And Random Nail gonna seal things up. I was gonna say in game 1, like what you were talking about before, it didn't really feel like a Random Nail was using the nails that well to lock down Fuzz, but in the start of this game so far, it feels a little bit of a different story.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Now,
but Fuzzama's also kind of adapting to that play as well, just working around these nails. Still, though, you're going to be getting hit by some random nails in the process, like that poison nail attacking on some extra damage to Fuzzama, and random nail able to get the life advantage now because of that. Solid chain placements as well. I like what we did there to basically make sure that Random Nail like backed up a little bit out of the corner to give him a little bit of room. But unfortunately, Fuzzama not able to make full advantage of the situation that he created. Now Random Nail is going to be taking full advantage of the situation here, tossing out the nail umbrella, making sure that Fuzzama can't approach properly. And with that chain set up, we cannot do anything to counteract that command grab, as now Random Nail is sitting pretty here, evening up the score to a 1-1.
Yep, unfortunately, Fuzzama was a sitting duck in the middle of throwing out that chain, could do nothing about the command grab super from bang in that situation. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that situation, and well, we won't. Fuzzama will have to keep an eye out for that situation as this next game starts. We're on to game 3 here, final chance for both players.
Hey, and this is a wonderful start for a Random Nail. Fuzzama already being put on the back foot, sets up the bumper. We're actually seeing the run right through into the explosion. A fatal counter as well. This is a magnificent start for our Random Nail, and even better too, because that's going to be taking down the timer on that OD, so Fuzzama won't be able to get access to it anymore. The OD into the teleport to the other side. There's the pressure coming, and Fuzzama unfortunately not able to block it all, going for another mix-up as we're using the full timer of that OD gauge, but unfortunately not able to clean things up until that final overhead goes unblocked. Random Nail on set point over Fuzzama now.
Fuzzama's honestly doing really good blocking a lot of those, but there's just so many that eventually they're gonna start hitting.
Overhead, overhead, overhead. Just block high at this point, because that's all Random Nail is going for. All right, now he has him in the corner now. Guess the mix. Hold up. Oh, anti-air from Fuzzama, but unfortunately dropping the combo. An explosion will be being that stance fall from Fuzzama. A Random Nail looking poised to take this set. If we can get this one final combo to land, all 4 seals unlocked, boosting the amount of damage he's going to be getting off of this. Confirms OD attempt, EA attempt, goes and whiffs. A Random Nail, unfortunately not able to fully kill, and we don't have the resources to make sure we can keep this pressure locked down tight.
Like a great IBs from a Random Nail, but eventually you're going to be opened up.
Okay, but we're going to be getting that burst. We're going to be getting that OD back, but so is Fuzzama. If we can stay alive a little bit longer, but unfortunately for Fuzzama, we died just before it became available. The explosion to the teleport to the other side. There we go. 2 hits, all we need. Random Nail. This certainly is this is certainly no random victory for him, as he's going to be moving on to winners finals to play against Dawn. Looking so dominant on the bang, and Fuzzama being sent down to losers, and we'll have to try to make it to losers finals and grand finals later on to get that run back.
Yeah, Fuzz has a little bit of a climb to go. Currently what we're looking at is, well, we're going to be seeing those games. Right now in losers top 8, we have Mass versus spritecranberry, and Akin and Javon playing on stream. So we're going to be seeing those right now, I think, right? Yeah, we've got Mass in the room already, so Mass and Sprite are up first.
Dude, I love these players, man. Mass and Sprite are such a fun match. There's a lot of really fun players to watch play against each other because of how their play styles clash. But then there's also the matches that are so fun to watch just because their play styles are so similar. And this is how I feel about Mastfam and spritecranberry, where they're super belligerent with their characters. They are so ignorant and they make it work. They're going to be making sure that you do high damage. They're going to be messing with your brain as they go for hard call out after hard call out and then make you hurt for every single minor mistake that you make. I think another classic matchup is like Mastfam and Kobe and Sprite, right? Quetzalgoatl versus Mass. I mean, these are all so fun to watch, and right now we have it right here with the Tiger versus Azrael here in Loser Side Top 8.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see if it's going to be an explosive game like you said. People are just going to start dying, start swinging with big old rocket launchers. All right, let's see what it is. Yeah, I agree with Thundercrush in the chat, at least from what we've seen today of Sprite, just the one match he got on stream. He was very patient in that match against Dom before. We'll have to see. Mass, on the other hand, is a different story. Oh my gosh, great conversion. Tigger is so tall.
Oh my god, anti-air. All right, dive kick from Sprite, getting out of there. Magnetism applied.
Oh my gosh, we're just going for those. Great, and finally get close enough to get that punish from Mast. Got the magnetism. We don't care. We're DPing. Oh my god, 5C. Counter it into the RC. We're going to be charging up our Spark Volt there. Sprite just waiting it out. Oh my, you're going to get sucked right back in out of that backdash.
I think that's dead, right? I mean...
Yeah, no, I don't think Azrael has that much HP.
Alrighty, well... With that, Mass pretty low on that OD gauge, so it's going to be taking a time to get that back. And now spritecranberry going to be taking full advantage of that to keep him locked in the corner here. Okay. Still doesn't have any magnetism applied, so Sprite can play out of the range that Mass wants him to be at, which is right next to him. But now magnetism is applied as he did hit him when one of those driving was on a block, so he's going to be able to bring him right into his loving arms. Oh, RC!
Late RC!
Kind of worked out a little bit. We did have to spend bursts along the way, though.
I guess that makes sense. I did not know you could cross up the command grab like that. That's so funny. Alrighty, both weak points applied. A scary situation here, but oh my gosh, slapping him out of the air. Gonna be a good amount of damage here. Not quite enough to kill. I don't think so, but it's definitely a one-guess situation. This is really dangerous.
Here's the gadget finger into
the
minor scam, OD, and there it is. Oh, he tried to get a little cheeky with that air throw, and that might be to his deficit. spritecranberry, I don't think we can kill. Yeah, no, we can't kill.
Oh, off the ground!
Not if we get a blue beat combo. Mastfam stuck on the wall and trying to press the button, falling down. The spritecranberry on top of that, getting that anti-air to win that round. But man, Mastfam kind of threw in the spirit
a little bit
mindset there.
Quite literally threw, purple threw even. A great counter it on that. I think that's the 3C, the big sweepy low, but not bucking the cross up. We've got both. Oh, no weak points applied right now. We getting that upper. Then have to go all the way to the core. Oh, never mind.
5C clash. Things are looking good for Sprite, but not if you can get hit by that Spark Bolt. Mastfam always doing such a good job at finding these small moments to charge up that Spark Bolt and get it active. There we go. Once again, we see that attempt to charge up Spark Bolt just to make sure that we have it later on in this round. spritecranberry had such a huge lead, but it's starting to disappear. spritecranberry going to be getting hit by that Spark Bolt once again, getting that magnetism reapplied.
Oh my gosh, all the way down!
Catapult for the TP, going to catch the ending of it, and spritecranberry narrowly winning that round there.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was so scrambly. What a scary situation, but yeah, it's like I think, like I mentioned a little bit before, I think that Sprite is very good at, from what I've seen today anyways, playing very solid under pressure. And what other that is a crazy amount of pressure too. So those situations we just saw.
Okay, game number 2, Sprite with the lead. But all those rounds came down to the wire. Ooh. There's the Gustav. Look at that. Get in the button. What do you think you're doing? You're not
backdash
safe from a Gustav no matter how far you are away. There's the gadget finger getting that reset, backdash away from Sprite. And that's honestly a very safe option that Sprite can go for, considering Azrael's dash is just backdashing and getting out of there.
for sure.
Okay, there it is.
Better
Reset once again. Instead, we're going to be spending the Blackhawk Stinger. Oh, no, not Blackhawk Stinger. We're just going to go for the super there. Not going to work for a Sprite, unfortunately, though. Mastfam opts to block it out, and that's going to be doing a good amount of damage now. Yeah, your finger. Once again, timer scam. Don't drop it this time. Are we going to... Okay, we're going to go for the mix-up timer scam instead.
Oh, that trade is definitely working out in Matt's favor, and he's going to take round 1 here. Same as last game, I think.
I think Mastfam right here is like, you know what? I want to kind of win here. I'm going to do some silly things with the timer scam, but at the end of the day, we got to close this thing off.
For sure. Oh my god, nice teleport. That normal put out by Mast was a little too slow. We're going to get a little float here, but can't quite punish. Oh my gosh, nice punish on that charge. Oh my god, he's just going to get hit on wake up by the Spark Bolt.
Great burst timing as well, using it at the moment that Mass pulls him
Great
in.
jump.
Wedge catapult attempt, great jump to get over it, and this is going to be an insane confirmed Sprite Cranberry as he's going to be cashing out on the weak point he just applied in that combo, bringing him to that wall. Both weak points are now active, and Mastfam getting hit by that delayed low. Sprite should be able to close this one out now. Cashing out low weak point and the high weak point. We had that 50 meter for the super at the end, but we dropped the combo. Still alive.
Oh my gosh, the tech trap in the air getting picked up by the command throw.
It's all disappearing in an instant. All of that hard work. It doesn't matter. Super.
Oh.
Not enough. We did so much damage with that combo.
Oh, but it whiffs.
He whiffs. That was a great backdash from Mass as well, because that made sure that the DP whiffed, like you said, and then now you can't RC to keep it safe. Good stuff.
For sure. A lot of characters can represent option selects against Azrael's DP, whether you low profile it or you hit stop OS. I don't know. I don't know if Taker has options against that. I don't know if he has to hard bait it like that, but either way, Mass did hard bait it and took their game for it. So we'll see how that goes in game 3.
Both players looking even, and look at that round start. Spark Bolt twice even. Getting very cheeky because like Sprite so far is playing a little bit patient here in neutral. And because of that, Mastfam's like, okay, yeah, I can be a little bit greedy when it comes to charging up this Spark Bolt.
Oh my gosh. Very late, close to the ground, JD there. Gonna apply some magnets.
Avoids the
right, just backdashing. Oh.
Gets the throw. Gets picked up. Here you go. One more. And it's going to be the strike this time. Sprite Cranberry getting tossed into this combo and getting tossed around in the air. What's it going to be? It's going to be a low this time. No grab attempts with Sprite Cranberry. No chance to tech out. But we'll get a chance to get out of this corner. Oh, well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's one way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I got. Was he just doing the cross up OS? I guess the throw there, but either way, it's gonna work out in his favor.
Matched up.
Oh, getting snagged out of the air there.
5C, Gustav to the other side. Good blocks from Mass. Spark Bolt. Oh, how dare you try to 6C in?
I'm very surprised that hit. Oh my gosh.
Throw counter. Oh my god, there we go. More damage.
Just blocking it out from Sprite, being patient. Nice stuff. Still, Magda's getting hit by this.
Oh god. There's no way you survive this unless Mass drops the combo.
And again.
Fading out the DP once again. Backdash on your wake up as that DP completely whiffs. And with that, Mastfam has punched his ticket to losers quarterfinals to play against Fuzzama. Great stuff to both these players so far, and especially Sprite Cranberry making it here to losers semis, but unfortunately it was not, or sorry, losers quarters, but unfortunately it was not meant to be. Mastfam, the Tager, looking so clean, is going to be moving forward.
Yeah, gosh, good work from Sprite though. That like, gosh, it is very jarring to see an Azrael play so so patient, and he was absolutely like playing some crazy footsies in that situation. Yeah, we're talking about it a little bit in chat. I'm still so surprised that that 6C from Sprite lost to the low there. I guess it must have been at the end, towards the end of the foot invuln, but crazy. Anyways, on to a different game.
onto a different game. And it looks like Javon will be playing against Akin with the Kokanoe. Akin always going to be on that now. So, I mean, such a... I mean, yeah, at this point, like, Akin is just known for this character. He doesn't play anyone other than him. But Javon here, more known for the S, and is actually going to be locked into the Kokanoe this time around. I know he's trying to bring his Kokanoe up to snuff to be tournament ready, just like his S. So, let's see. I'm interested to see how his Kokanoe is developing. We saw a little bit of it at Texas Showdown, but he didn't really bring it out for the majority of the bracket.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't know you had one, so I'm looking forward to see it. Kokanoe is oh my gosh, is a fun character to watch. We're gonna do a little purple throw off the magnetism.
And one of the big things about Kokanoe is, you know, playing lame, sitting back, setting up those traps, having people come to him, and then punishing you for rash approach attempts with something like the balls, with the traps, or your big C normals like 2C.
Definitely. I think, oh my gosh, gonna open up by that overhead. I think she can be very creative with how she uses her magnetism in neutral, and then once she gets that knockdown, she's got that crazy mix in the corner. Ooh, getting snagged by the low. We're going, oh my gosh, okay.
Naoto, even though Kokanoe can set up all these traps, he's denies so many lanes of the screen, Naoto is a character that can get in so easily against so much of the cast, and that really comes down to all of the dash enhanced normals that he does have that can be super big or move him so far forward where he can absolutely make you hurt once he just finds the single gap that you left behind. I mean, we know the dash DP meme, but it is something that works for a reason, right?
Oh, speaking of pretty good, that JB from Kokanoe is a crazy normal. We're going to be going pretty much all the way to the corner. Yeah, especially with that cool little fireball route. Blocking the 50-50, the left-right. All right, here comes Akin. You're going to throw. Not broken by Javon. We're going all the way to the other corner. Yeah, both these characters have such crazy corner carry. It's absolutely insane. Good block on the slide and cross trigger.
Yeah, no, that was a great interrupt from Javon. Naoto can be so suffocating with his pressure, but now that you've stopped it and set him up in the corner with the Graviton, Javon is looking in a pretty good position. RC on the DP attempt, and there it is, the giant normals that Akin has. And yeah, just going to be sweeping that entirety of the screen. Javon, unfortunately, not able to approach after that. And with that OD, Akin's going to be confirming the KO and taking the first game.
Awesome. Yeah, nice stuff, dude. This character is like... Naoto can just really seal the game off of a few hits. And that's true of Kokanoe too in her own way, but man, I feel like Naoto just pumps out damage sometimes. Like, oh my gosh, she does like the overdrive into like 5D, 2D dash cancel like over a few times. People just melt. It's crazy.
Game number 2. Already immediately opening Javon, putting him on that defense. Kokanoe, limited amount of reversals, but oh, what a mash. There we go. The Abari with the 2A counter hit. Take him to the other side. I like the usage of the Graviton to bring him to the other side, getting that side swap. Good anti.
Oh my gosh.
And unfortunately not able to get a full combo off, and now Javon stuck back in the corner using all this barrier gauge to try and keep Akin pushed back, but Naoto just ignores barrier and a lot of his pressure where he can just keep staying stuck on top of you with all of his normals and his movement and his specials, and it just can be pretty hard to get out of. But so far Javon doing a great job at just making sure that he stays at bay once he's able to get out of that corner. Trap set up, and not really using the Graviton all too much right now, wanting to be a little bit more conservative with them.
Yep, still got 5 of them though. Oh, the left right working that time.
Yeah, the trap into the teleport. First time Javon has represented the teleport mix. Now Akin has going to be thinking about that a little bit more often now. Send out the Super Ball, teleport mix once again, and it's just so hard to react to because the Super Ball comes all the way down. You cannot interact with the Super Ball. You cannot burst against it, and then it's so hard to see because it blocks so much of the screen that you're like, oh, he did go for a teleport. Huh, that just happened.
Yeah, she can like hide overheads in it too. It's like such a dastardly move. And speaking of, we're going to get another left-right here, probably in the situation. Now, overdrive is a nice option to represent against it, but unfortunately, when you're not barriering, that doesn't really matter too much. That crush trigger going to open things up.
Absolutely.
And here comes another one. Yeah, here we go.
Akin so far, not representing it, but there it is. Yeah, Javon, unfortunately, dropping that combo because we try to go for a burst bait, but Akin not biting. I think we're going to go for another burst bait attempt here, too. If I know Javon, not going for it. Akin just going for a straight up DP, maybe saving it to use for the OD instead of the burst. I think he's trying to really hold on to the offensive capabilities that he has, or just saving it for the next round. He's not confident he can win here. Javon rushing to the other side of the screen, using that scooter, setting up the trap so Akin can't just rush in. Anti-air attempt, but that's going to be blocked out. RC, Akin keeping that pressure going, and now Akin has him in the corner. This is going to be a nice quarter combo, going to be doing a good amount of damage.
Oh, unfortunate drop, but we're going to get the throw anyways, and the overdrive to seal things up. This is most definitely this round.
Absolutely, and even if Javon is able to get that burst back, he's completely locked out of it. Granted, Akin doesn't drop, and that he will not. Going to set point here for Akin. Javon just needs to win one more round here to even up this set, but so far it's looking a little bit tough.
We do have the burst advantage here, which is very good. Ooh, nice DP. Trying to be a little pressure reset there. Oh, I think blocked that a little too high. That might have been a punish. I'm not quite sure. But anyways, looking pretty good here for Akin. We're into the corner, gonna have to block out a lot of this, but the overdrive, not quite gonna get a punish, but it's gonna alleviate the pressure just a little bit. We're just gonna fly right back in with the fire wheel. Oh, but can't quite convert, unfortunately.
Inside the ball once
Slow
again.
things down.
Trying to slow down the pace. The DP in the air. Super Ball attempt as a reversal, and unfortunately no Graviton to redirect it to interrupt Akin's combo. And Akin should be able to take this one for free without even needing to use that OD gauge later on. Just keeping it clean, keeping it honest, spending that super to finish things off. Akin 2-0, moving through loser's side.
For sure. It was real scary there in the middle with all that crazy left-right Kokonoe mix, you know, character doing what she does best, but ultimately, like, Akin's movement throughout the neutral was just fantastic.
Absolutely.
Did a great job pressuring as well, that I don't think Joan was able to deal with. So, yeah, great set. Great performance from both of them. But, oh, go ahead.
What I like to do is that Akin never really overextended against Javon. And I think that's really important to note because because Kokonoe is a character, when she sets up those traps with Gravitons and all the shenanigans she has on the screen, she absolutely will punish you for overextending much harder compared to a lot of other characters. So I like the fact that, like, once the trap was set up in mid-screen, he was like, okay, I don't need to approach. I can wait for that trap to end. And you can see Javon not even sitting behind the trap even. He wanted to play aggressive. He wanted to jump forward. He wanted to set those Gravitons into the spinners. But when he ended up going for those options, that gave Akin more leeway to work with, because now that he was up close, you know, he had options like the DP. He had ways to escape from those pressure sequences. And then once he was able to escape, then he could start his lockdown pressure of his own.
For sure. It's like you talked a little bit about how, you know, the meme of dash enhanced DP and stuff, but like ultimately, like to your point, I don't think that Akin was really going for anything like that, right? He was playing like pretty reserved. He was waiting for Javon to just kind of like hang himself, you know?
Absolutely.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, we were just doing some slight setting changes to the room. I thought that we got kicked out, but we're all good.
All good. We are bringing us back into the lobby, and we got our next set up. We got let me see. Should we be between Fuzzama? Yeah. So we got Fuzzama versus Mastfam coming up next. Another classic set. I mean, once again, I'm going to stop saying it because I sound like a broken record. But all these players play in online brackets all the time. That's just how the BlazBlue community works, right? And that's what I love about the BlazBlue community, is the fact that they're always playing the game. I bring up this example every single time, or as much as I can after I saw it. But, you know, Frosty Faustings this year, they were literally playing on those steps, completely packed out until they were kicked out, right? So, like, these guys, gamers, they love to play the game. They love to practice the game online all the time. And so a lot of these matchups are going to be stuff you see very regularly. And Fuzzama and Mastfam is certainly no exception. But usually it can be a little bit tough for Mastfam to win this one. He has taken out Hazama's before. He has taken out Fuzzama's before. I think one of the most memorable moments from Mastfam's history is how he took out Kairos to make it into top 8 at Combo Breaker. But Hazama is always going to be that big problem matchup, and that's why it's so hype to watch this matchup and see Tager win, is because Hazama just completely bullies Tager. He kind of just invalidates him a lot of time, but if Tager plays his cards right, then Hazama is also going to be having a tough time trying to work around all these potent, risky options that Tager is trying to force out of him.
For sure. It's definitely not easy for Tager, but, you know, Mast can make it work. If any Taker can, it's definitely Mast. So we'll have to see how it plays out.
it's definitely arguable that Mastfam is the best Taker currently in NA. I'm sure there are like other contenders, but like based on Mastfam's recent history, like absolutely, he is one of the best,
Oh yeah.
if not the best Takers. So if, like you said, if anyone can take it, it is him, and we're gonna be seeing this round start right now. Both players doing a good job at blocking all this pressure, but unfortunately for Mastfam, he's going to be the first one to get opened up. And now you normally see Mastfam trying to go for these spark bolts when at full screen, but you can tell Mastfam is respecting Fuzzama a lot in neutral by not going for them, because he knows that Fuzzama, as long as he has a stock available, he can absolutely take his turn back or get a nice combo off of a spark bolt charge attempt.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's very easy for him to slip around it, despite the fact that Spark Bolt, like, invalidates projectiles. If Fuzz knows it's coming, it can make him hurt for it. And make him hurt for it, he is. It's not going to be that much, especially with Taker's large health pool, but oh my gosh, that weird tech roll situation is going to work out real good for Mast here. We're going back into the corner.
Mast certainly doing a much better job now that he has Fuzzama locked in the corner, but there's the OD, but going to get grabbed regardless. I don't know what Fuzzama tried to do, but now he's put in an even worse position, RC, to extend the combo and deny the rest of that OD gauge, and now we're back at even health after 2 combos. We saw an attempt to air tear to keep him locked in, but there's that command grab coming in. We can't finish just yet. Magnetism still applied, so we can still bring Fuzzama to his location, but Mastfam unfortunately not able to get any big command grabs coming in to close things off. Super, no, going to get stuffed, and Fuzzama spending super of his own with that Hotenjin. This should be a double super combo, and we're going to be spending it right now just to make sure that Mastfam can't spend burst.
Yeah, that hero burst working out great for Fuzz there. Gonna take that first round. Plenty of time to keep this thing going in his favor.
Hazama, a character always setting the pace for any set that he plays in, or most sets that he plays in. And this is certainly like the flagship example of a character that is making the other character not be able to do much, right?
For sure. Setting the pace, like you say. Oh, that backdash is punished a little bit, getting a little bit of a knockdown.
Oh my god, the overhead opening up Mast, but we see it in situations before like this. Mastfam put at red health. Fuzzama with such a huge life advantage, but this time it won't be the hero story we saw before. Mastfam taken out just like that. Fuzzama won a game on the board and looking so strong after that second round.
For sure. It seemed like Mast was trying to bet a lot on those backdashes in the corner, but unfortunately Fuzz was ready for them, and now you've only got like one more game left to try to win this. If you're in Mast position, we are still in 2 out of 3 over on this side of the bracket. So we'll have to see what the adaptation was. It didn't look like hopeless by any means, but definitely tough, as we've been saying. I love the stage. The stage is so good.
It is.
Those little guys.
So many good stages in Blazer. They look so great.
All right, they kind of early.
Honestly, I like that approach from Fuzzama too, because every single time you expect the Hazama to, jump back chain, right? But you don't want to do it so often where you become predictable. That's the big thing. Even if it's a great option, you don't want to become predictable, because there are so many ways to counteract it if you expect it coming. So I like how Fuzzama changed up that approach and went for that low instead to start us off in a great whip punish and a great grab from the air, as Mastfam is going to take Fuzzama down to his level. OD being popped, but going to get opened up in the process. Unfortunately, Mastfam can't finish the combo, but should be able to finish the combo off of this overhead connection.
Looking pretty good. I don't think it's going to be quite enough. Oh, great use of the... Okay. What an interaction. Okay.
And that intangibility.
Yeah, me too. I'm surprised he had the time to jump out of it and just... All right, well, we're going big counter hit stomp to start things out, but the jump back chain, as we were talking about, always a strong option. Interrupting through that armor there with that second hit.
Spark Bolt charge again. Oh, God. Now we're at full Spark Bolt. Oh, and tried to use it, but unfortunately, it neither got blocked or hit Fuzzama, and now Mastfam not able to get magnetism until now.
Oh. Great use. Oh, wait. Okay, never mind. I thought the overdrive would be able to beat that command grab there, but unfortunately, sucked right back into it. Oh, 1 second. I can go stream the match. Okay, there we go. We got both commentators back in.
Oh, what happened? Okay, Mastfam won. All right.
I was wondering why it was getting a little quiet. Basically, there was a situation where Fuzz tried to, in the air, overdrive through a command grab, an air command grab from Mass, but landed like right after the overdrive like super flash ended and got grabbed anyways and kind of died
Hell?
for it. So
I know you're explaining the situation, and you're not doing a bad job by any means. But I'm trying to wrap my head around the situation. I cannot like envision it right now.
yeah, it's a lot. I could have explained that better, but definitely. We're moving on to the next one though. It's all good. Blaze Blue Central Fiction does not have a good PC port, unfortunately.
I think I'm just alt-tapping accidentally.
Gotcha.
But I'm alt-tapping back in here.
Hazama
keeping Mastfam locked in the corner. Okay, try to get out and actually manages to squeak his way out of that corner, spending the Spark Bulk and that Magnetism, rushing in with drive, but unfortunately not going to work out in his favor as he spends that burst, and Fuzzama still with full resources on hand and gets picked up by the command grab on the other side. Jump. Okay, this could be very risky as Hazama has so many ways to knock you out of the air, and we saw that right there with the chains. Oh no, 5D in the air, going to get punished. Mastfam going to be taken to the ground. Unfortunately for Fuzzama, we're not able to kill with that combo, and Mastfam is going to get that magnetism reapplied with a spark ball once again. 100 meter on the table, not trying to use it, but getting caught there in that pressure. Hotenjin for the instant confirm, and Fuzzama taking that round to bring us to set point.
Already very commanding one too. The J's too to lock him down. Not a lot of damage, but we're gonna. Oh my gosh, yeah, these backdashes have not been working out. Unfortunate. But those overheads are from the stance. Hazama. Ooh, Fuzzama. Getting tagged this time. We've got some magnetism. Gonna jump out anyways. Oh my gosh, great call out of that jump.
Absolutely.
He said stay on the ground.
Reset, going for the low that time, but this time Fuzzama just backing up slowly. Still getting caught. Gonna be taking a lot of damage for that. Bring him to the other side. Gadget finger. Bring him around the world here. Take him for the spin cycle. And then they're falling asleep on the wheel, it seems like, as Fuzzama gets opened up by Mass. And that seems to be the strategy right now. Go for a few reps of the timer scam. And like, you know what? He's probably sleeping right now. I'm going to go and go for the kill now.
That one felt very ambiguous to me. I thought he was going to land on the left, but it's so weird.
It can be very tough because of just how that interaction works. But right now, what is the matter of the fact is that Mastfam is having the lead here, or gaining the lead here in round number 3 of game number 3, final game, final round. Knocked down to the ground. OD through the stance into the command grab. Oh my god, the super going to be doing so much damage.
That killed him. He's dead.
No way! I thought that wasn't gonna kill. I thought there was one more interaction afterwards. And in this instance, Mastfam, the hero of the story, or in some other people's minds, the villain of the story, as he is still playing that Tiger, will be taking it over Fuzzama. What a way to end a set.
Yeah, it's like that's the nature of these characters, right? Like it honestly felt like to me that it was kind of Fuzz's game for most of that, but
yeah, you gotta play so careful. And then once it's big like the stance like that, it's just so OD susceptible. And in Taker's case, like I said before, he can punish you for the slightest, most minute errors in that instance. Fuzzama didn't really make that much of an error, I think, right? It kind of like a standard stance pressure, but the fact that that super command grab just went right through, and then with the OD buff, did 5.7k?
Yeah, it's like
brother,
you can't cover everything with your block string, right? Like there's always gonna be an option or like an opening if a player is.
That was over 50%.
Yeah,
I'm still not getting over that. Anyways, but I have to get over it regardless, as we're going to be dropping down to the other side of losers quarterfinals between Quetzalgoatl and Akin. We got to think about that later, as now we're going to be figuring out who gets to play against the Tiger. I know neither of them wants to play against him, but
especially seeing these reactions in chat. Gosh. Well, both these characters are also pretty high damage. Oh my god, especially if we're going to be popping it real early. Get those nice unlocks all the way to the corner. Oh my gosh. Wes is not playing around. Representing all these options mad early. Doing that nice meaty throw.
DP. Good job getting out of that pressure. DP from Akin as well, though. Finding his way out, but maybe not for long. Oh, try to charge up a special. That's not going to work. Grand Viper. Bring down. Spin RC. No. Maybe I'm maybe I'm not sure about the Susano'o combos myself.
It's okay. You're not the Susano'o player. There's not gonna be a test. You're all good.
All that matters is that Akin is still alive, and he's still kicking at Quetzalgoatl in the kneecaps. Bring him to the
Throw was
corner.
plus.
Nice tech, though. Really good tech. Quetzalgoatl immediately going for that IAD JA, catches Akin by his hair. Quetzalgoatl with 1 round on the board.
Ooh. Yeah, Crest was very composed at the end of that last round and able to close things out even though he had that little pixel situation. And here he comes again, overhead, opening up Akin. Going all the way to the corner, does a little walk. Oh, nice punish. Probably a little missed input there on the 5A staggers.
Ball stagger pressure, but a massive whiff from Akin, misjudging the distance that how far he was away from Quetzalgoatl. In that instance, will be providing Quetzalgoatl that huge whiff punish to bring him to the corner. Fading. In the process, we still have burst on the table, and we're going to be spending it because that combo would have been enough to kill Quetzalgoatl with the Astral on deck. And instead going for the DP RC to be as ignorant as possible over an attempt. Gain DP in the process. Akin finding his way out and bring him to the other side of the stage.
Carry.
You have your passport because you're taking for a trip around the world. Akin, 100 meter on the table. Can we kill with this combo? No, we can't. One more combo is all we need, but so is the same for Quetzalgoatl. Bullying with those 5 Cs, blocking out that super RC to keep us safe. Both players with no mirror, staying as honest as possible from Akin. What an anti-air combo, but not enough to kill as that burst comes back just in time for Quetzalgoatl. 50 meter DP RC.
Great IPs into the DP! Oh my god.
Blowing right through that offense from Quetzalgoatl.
What a comeback, and now Quetz is down on the burst gauge there. Very confident in his ability to win that last round. Unfortunately, he's going to hurt for it, but it's all good. We're going to get some unlocks, get the important ones, get the DP unlocked, get the Grand Viper unlocked, get one more thing unlocked. Probably wheel.
There you go. Yep. Yeah, we want the spin, we want the Grand Viper, we want our staircase combos to get the maximum amount of damage from our combos as possible. There's the cross trigger, opening up Akin. We're not putting up that barrier. And Quetzalgoatl looking to make a perfect here. Akin gain that burst back, not going to spend it though, knowing this combo won't be enough to kill. And flubbing that spin on the combo ender. That's going to be providing an Akin a free get out of jail card. And now he's going to be putting Quetzalgoatl under lock and key instead. If you pass go, do not collect 200. And Akin is rushing right in to keep him locked straight in there. Go back to that corner of the board as we're going to be spending that DP to get these consistent anti-airs on Quetz.
All right, this is a tough situation here. We have, oh, okay, there's a weird situation there, but we're going to spend the burst in Quetz. Akin has a ton of defensive options here, including an overhead.
It's the Astral Akin. What an OG to blow right through. And the ways that now that Akin is using these DPs and using the ODs to blow through the tiniest of gaps that Quetzalgoatl is leaving is giving Akin so much advantage. I mean, 6D, right? Overheads, all these overheads. It feels like Quetzalgoatl is not able to get any of these overheads online because Akin is constantly interrupting them the moment he sees them. Like, shoot, you go for a 6D, there's a DP. You try to go for an overhead, you're getting OD'd, right?
Speaking of that, can we talk about like the double IB into the punish on the 3C? That was crazy. But anyways, we're gonna do a whole other game. We're gonna have to see if Quetz can adapt. It was very close despite that. Oh my god, big whiff Phantom Pain. We got that max range punish. Get a few unlocks too.
Yeah, what a nice confirm. Speaking of clean, that was really clean with that JA starter into the 3C confirm.
For sure. What is this Susano'o color? This looks so familiar. Oh, maybe I'm seeing the wrong color. I don't know. Great block on the overhead.
Knocked out of the air. 2C attempt. Gonna whiff.
Big Phantom Pain whiff. That was a little scary, but not quite getting the punish. Little tiny DP.
JA.
Oh my gosh. So scrappy.
Advantage. Yeah, it's very scrambly right now. We're just getting small hits after small hits, but it's starting to add up, especially for Akin now, as he's going to be able to get his first real combo against Quetzalgoatl. Good confirm, but can't avoid the DP. It's so active, and it is so big.
Oh my god, these anti-airs have been so on point from Akin. This defense is so good. But Quetz moving around, whiffing those big JAs. Unfortunately, getting frame trapped there.
Not the best starter, so Akin can't kill with this combo. 5A, not going to be enough. We don't have this time to back it up. Or at least Quetzalgoatl chose not to. And now Akin, with one more round, will be able to take this set away from him. Okay, 5C blocking. Not going to block the 6E that time, though. Runs up for the throw. Here's another confirm going Akin's way.
Yeah, you gotta just keep throwing those overheads, I feel like, especially as this character. Like, overdrive can be really strong against him, but...
we don't have meter to RC it to keep it safe. Quetzalgoatl, if he saw that, that must have been a blessing from God as it floats down from the sky with a ray of sunlight attached to it. Quetzalgoatl feels like he's being handed this one for free right now, but maybe not for long. Akin taking away that food stamp. Here we go.
Yeah, it was a great jump out, great awareness of the situation in the corner. Now you gotta block all this amazing Naruto stagger pressure. It feels like it goes on forever, but Quet's very content to block it out and get the punish on that slight mistake from Akin. Gonna tie things up. One last chance here for Quetz. One last chance here for Akin to close things out. Let's see how it plays out. Gonna just back up. Play a little... Nice!
Oh my god.
5A staggers.
Unlocking the spin
no cancel.
and the DP. Oh my god, another unlock. Quetzalgoatl starting to become that big runaway snowball, and Akin is not the flame that is putting it out, at least not yet. JA, but unfortunately not able to confirm off it that time. Lots of barriers in the air, trying to bait out Quetzalgoatl into doing something. Oh, what an air-to-air confirm. That would have been big, but unfortunately not able to get a knockdown afterwards. And now Quetzalgoatl unlocking more of his specials. We have Grand Viper, we have Spin, we have DP, and none of them from a combo, as he's doing so much damage by just doing very small amounts of wins in this neutral state. But now we're not neutral anymore. Akin is the one that's holding the steering wheel, that's holding the gas, pressing that gas down here in the car and pushing us forward, as now Akin has Quetzalgoatl with his back up against the wall. Nowhere left to go. Pull up a chair, pull up a table, because you're going to be sitting here for quite a while. There's the burst coming out from Quetzalgoatl, getting himself out of that situation. I see Grand Viper. We're not going to do anything to go through that. Akin jumping back, playing safe. Grand Viper once again, RC into his throw. Akin, what attack to get out. Ooh, but this combo, is this enough to kill? I don't think it is.
Yeah, with the spit. Oh, no!
What picks on a dream, and a DP goes right through.
Oh, the JA!
Get the kill. Quetzalgoatl takes it over Akin in a nail biter of a set.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry to yell over you there. I was just like astounded by how scrambly that was.
You're fine. Yeah, taking it over Akin in game number 2, but still one more game to go. Akin so close to taking the set 2-0, but now we're sitting at a 1-1, and it's Quetzalgoatl's time to start to make something work. That snowball is starting to crush Akin as he cannot stand the weight of it.
That whiff punish was fantastic, and so is that throw counter. Something I've really noticed is even after that kind of like disaster of the first game, Quetz is like not afraid to just be running his pressure like in that second game. And like he is right now, whiff throw is plus on whiff, and you are going to hurt for it.
Runaway snowball is exactly what's happening again. Falling to this avalanche that is this pressure that Quetzalgoatl is enforcing on top of him. But a good block on that 60 will provide an Akin a way to take his turn back, and then knockdown toss him into the corner. Great blocks from Quetzalgoatl to block that overhead. But now Akin getting pushed back way too far from that barrier. Unfortunately, is not able to keep that pressure going. And Quetzalgoatl finding his way out with that Grand Viper confirm will be able to bring us to set point in his favor instead.
That run-in punish on the crouching drive was insane.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, Susan can really move once he gets going. Once he starts that run, he is moving.
It only takes a bit of time to do it, though. And that time is exactly what, and that space was exactly what Akin gave him to do that. So you want to be very careful about giving Susano'o that space to go for those full dash runs, to jump scare you with these punishes.
Here, 1 second. I think our stream dropped. I'm streaming the game. Hopefully, Tanara can get us back in there off the Discord stream.
Oh my god.
Right now,
the sword.
Akin DPing right back. Quet's blocking some Akin stagger pressure. Pretty successful, spending the CA to get right out. We're back to neutral here. Okay, stream's back. I don't have to play-by-play anymore. We're good.
Just playing so patient. Waiting for his opening. And Akin pelting him with all these moves. All this barrier coming out from Quetzalgoatl as well, as he's in red. Trying to save it for a little bit longer, or maybe not for long. Akin should be able to do... No, actually not going to go for the super kill. Maybe didn't.
Last chance.
Even the rooting there.
Great block on the CT. Quetz is just very confident in his defense here. I love it. Great throw break. With the anti-air.
The anti-air. Akin on top of these anti-airs ever so... Oh, God. or tossing him to the other side of the screen. 3C, catching him low. DPRC, trying to be as belligerent as possible right now, but these DPRCs have not been working. It's just been used as a neutral skip. DP whiffs, but moves him so far away that Quetzalcoatl can't punish it. Great block on the 60. Akin taking his turn back, trying to go for a throw. There's the anti-air though. Akin staying alive, bringing us to final game, final round.
Oh my gosh, what a thing. Yeah, those anti-airs from Akin have been on point this entire set. It's crazy. Oh my gosh, that counter hit.
One more for both these players. Quetzalcoatl spending that burst immediately at round start. May not even be getting access to that OD later on in this set, in this round, which could be monumental. Could be a monumental advantage for Akin, especially if Quetzalcoatl is not able to get any of his specials online. Oh my god, the air reduction! What a huge confirm. We got the sword. We got the ground viper. We should be able to get spin here now too. No, we're not getting spin. Okay, it's still fine. It's still fine.
Okay. Yep, spending that meter to keep the DP safe. The Phantom Vein dunked. Oh my gosh, I'm so surprised that Cuts landed in time for that. We're going all the way to the corner, using that Grand Viper, getting one more unlock. Wheel level 2.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Hold on. Akin. Backing up. No!
Oh my god, 3C!
Akin now needs to spend that burst. And now both the players without any burst on the table. They both have to play so careful. One touch is all it will take for Akin to lose in this set. And Quetzalcoatl having such a monumental advantage in this life advantage. We have so much mirror to work with. We have so many resources to work with. Akin can't stop the snowball, looking like Sisyphus right now. The 5C into the pillar, keeping Akin stuck in that position. Back to full screen. All seals are unlocked. It's just a question of what Quetzalcoatl is opting to use right now. He has the whole world in his hands. The set is his oyster. It's just a matter of what he wants to do. We could go for a timeout as well if we want to play lane. Akin trying his best, trying to find a hit. I think it's game. I don't think Akin can finish this off. With this much time remaining and Akin giving up, knowing that 5 seconds is not enough. Quetzalcoatl, what a way to close that set off with a timeout after playing such a potent defense for so long.
Gosh, yeah, you can really see the limitations and now just pressure there. As, gosh, yeah, like, I gotta say that whole set, both players were blocking so many overheads from both sides. That was crazy. So it feels like a really fitting way to end things. Cuts take it. Gosh, what a set.
That honestly might be the set of the tournament so far.
For sure.
Hopefully we can see more sets like that because, man, it came down to the wire at every single moment. Unfortunately for Akin, it felt like nothing was going his way in that final set as he could not find a single opening against Quetzalcoatl to close things off. But yeah, man, what a crazy event it has been so far, and it's only going to be getting crazier. At least that's the hope, as we're going to be advancing towards losers semifinals. Akin out of the tournament, but Quetzalcoatl still in it after what an incredible win, and now he is the one to play against Mastfam. I actually saw him talk about it in the chat as well. It's like, I am not looking forward to this matchup. I do not want to play this matchup. I do not like Tager, and I completely understand that. So, you know, you're gonna have a break. You're not going to be playing Tager just yet. Instead, we're going to be going up to winners finals and check back in to our players who have made it so far in the bracket without getting defeated. But only one can move to winner side grand finals, and it's going to be between either Don or a random Nail.
Definitely, yeah. Oh my gosh, 3 out of 5 time. Don, obviously, very familiar with the matchup here against Bang, having played Kobe in many winners finals and grand finals. So we'll have to see how Noel navigates the matchup. He definitely is a different kind of Bang player than Kobe. I must have said a different Kobe player than Bang. So we shall see.
Not swinging like Kobe, that's for sure.
Definitely.
But yeah,
I feel like
to see how this one's going to play out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
in the meanwhile, as we've been saying throughout the night, make sure to click on that Matcherino. Let me get the link in chat. I can spell.
That Matcherino. Go ahead, claim those sponsor codes. We don't have any contribution codes yet, but you can do some sponsor quests like subscribing to Paragon FGC on YouTube, following them on Twitch, or joining Discord. So do that if you can. Add a little bit of extra money to the pot. If it works. I know sometimes it doesn't work the way you want it to, because like sometimes it'll say you claimed it, but money doesn't get added. But obviously, if you want to add some money as well, you can go and directly donate to the Matcherino and get these players paid at the end of the day. That was a really hype set, so I'm excited to see where we're going from there.
Me as well. We have Gosh, yeah, it's been a long tournament, definitely, especially with the amount of entrants, but we are nearing the end. I'm looking forward to seeing how this all pans out. Even if I know the chat will have to look at some more Tager and go, oh my gosh. But that's just how it is. I'm sure Mass does not mind being the villain a little bit. I feel like you kind of got to accept it with characters like that.
You know what? As a commentator, I appreciate seeing the Tager. It adds a little spice to the life of this
definitely.
set. All the crazy shenanigans that character can go for, and all the insane amounts of ways he can just completely break parity and turn the tables on you in a snap of the fingers. It's just so exciting to see the fact that it's it's like you're playing a slot machine. You're watching people play a slot machine. You're like, is Mast, is the Tager, is he going to get a command grab in this instance? Is he going to get a command grab here? How long until he gets that command grab? Because it's going to happen at some point.
Let's go gambling. All right, but before the gambling, we got some Bang versus Relius action. All random nail versus Dawn. See how this plays out.
Who's to say that Bang isn't a bit of a gambler as well? Especially with all these guard point and drive normal shenanigans. This character can do so much. He's so versatile, and you're seeing it immediately right here as he's immediately pushing the aggression on top of Dawn and actually going to be making him spend that burst.
Yeah, which is a big thing to spend here, especially for Dawn, who makes great use of that overdrive in his offensive sequences, but not gonna be having to worry about that now. You have to worry about blocking that 18 frame overhead and those explosion nails. Great mash out on the double overhead though.
Oh, unfortunately not able to finish that combo. Found some small hits, but now we'll confirm off this combo instead. Still holding on to that OD. Bang OD is so good. So I can completely understand holding on to that and not spending that burst, but now you might have to if you want to survive that combo at least. Dual Spiles coming out, keeping that ground under control, but a situation I talked about before. You don't really want to be spending Dual Spiles in the mid-screen like that because you're basically taking that doll away from you, and then if they can clear that fence, then suddenly you're a Relius with a doll, and you're going to be having a much harder time trying to win in that round. But look at that. Dawn still able to clean things up. Looked a little bit scary, looked a little bit dicey after that Dual Spiles whiff, but now still looking pretty clean as he takes the first advantage of the set.
All right. Feeling each other out a little bit in neutral here.
Good blocks. Oh, we hit. We see lead leg come in. It doesn't really amount to too much, but we did play a little bit evasive, so we're going to be jumping up, catching red nail once again. Looking a lot cleaner in this round compared to last. And with that doll gauge charged up, Dawn can do whatever he wants. Hard knockdown, no meter spend just yet. Instead, opting to go for a burst bait and went deep in for that burst bait as well.
For sure. It was such a dangerous character to burst against, and I feel like for Dawn as well. Like Dawn's absolutely looking for those. Very scary place to burst, and we're gonna take that. We're gonna take that first one very cleanly, honestly.
Absolutely. And bursting against Relius can just be so difficult, right? Because you have the doll that's just covering every single one of his steps. So many points during his combos can be burst safe, and you also want to be like very cognizant about how you spend that burst as well. And usually when you're playing against a character like Relius, who relies so much on that puppet gauge, you want to be spending that burst when that puppet gauge is low, and that's usually at the start of his combos. Just to make sure that you can deny him that puppet gauge in neutral.
And we're doing some work denying here, but...
And there's the spikes coming in, but the spikes are going to be a little bit less effective against a character like Bang, who's going to be a lot more mobile, a lot more airborne, and going to be avoiding them a lot more often. Tossing out those nails, keeping Dawn a lockdown. This is looking like a rain of nails round to win.
For sure, we're going to use that bumper. Send out our combos a little bit right into super, yep.
Take him to the wall.
In my brain, I always feel like that super is going to do less damage than it does. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it got a lot of hits before the final one. But anyways, Random Nail is going to seal things up. Oh my god, great air throw on the jump back. Dawn representing that a lot. Feeling very comfortable jumping out of pressure, but Random Nail said no. But here we go, the 2D locking things down. Again, oh my gosh, so tricky to block.
OD.
Ooh.
Oh, so many counter hits, dude.
I did not know what Dawn was doing, but he's getting counter hit for his troubles. We're getting all those unlocks. Like you said, it can be a little scary to spend the Bang overdrive early sometimes, but like when you get active flow and all your unlocks, it's like, hey, right? Like, might as well. Right?
But honestly, like Bang is one of those ODs that it's really hard to point out. Like there certainly are subpar usage of the OD, but it never really feels like it's a bad usage of the OD, just because it gives him such a defensive advantage and such an offensive advantage as well with the pressure that he can commit to.
For sure.
And in
Just
that
like
moment,
that.
okay, Super's gonna be able to kill. I was a bit unsure there because I was like, Astral could have killed too, and we just got Astral. But maybe a little more confident with going for the regular Super to get the kill instead.
Yeah, I understand that for sure. Sometimes I definitely am like, oh wait, can I Astral them? And I have to go back and doubt myself for a second. But except for at least consider, okay, there we go. We've got the Mew. Dawn has been known to pull this out from time to time. So we'll see how that changes up the matchup.
Because we are sitting on a 1-run right now. So the fact that Dawn already feels pressure enough to switch to the Mew does say a lot about how Random Nail is playing.
True. Although at the same time, this at least gives you a chance to swap back if you feel like it's not working. Because otherwise, you'd be stuck in if you waited one more loss for the rest of the whole set. We'll see. I've been impressed by Dawn's move before, so unfortunately, not being impressed in that scenario. Oh my gosh, great air throw again! Random Nail feels really comfortable dealing with Dawn in the air. And another DP baited!
He's baited out too. And so far, Mu not able to play the game one bit.
Yeah, it's such a strong DP, especially on a character like Mu, who likes, has all these crazy Oki setups and such crazy range, but, it has its weaknesses, like the range, like we're seeing in this scenario. Very easy to just sit there and be like, all right, go ahead and whiff it.
Yeah, the goal of Mu is to be able to set up those bits, set up those traps on the screen, and just fill up the screen with all these projectiles to keep a Bang from moving. And that's kind of where this counter pick idea comes from when switching to Mu. It's just a matter of, is this Mu going to be good enough to take out a Random Nail in this instance? And right now, we're looking pretty in control of this screen positioning.
Great overdrive on the 6B, though. Gonna take that chance to just roll out. Dodging through the nails, nice maneuverability, but a Random Nail is just constantly representing this drive. I think I mentioned this a little bit before, but I feel like he is representing it from the get-go, like not really scared. He's like, listen, I'm gonna represent it, and if you deal with it, that's on you. But if you don't, I'm gonna keep hitting this button.
Okay,
6C gonna bring us pretty close to the corner. Oh!
Great job. 6C though can still be a very risky button to press, so the fact that Dawn is using it so much shows that he is confident with the spacing he's at. OD activation from a Random Nail, a bit of a Hail Mary one as well. Pretty confident they can take this route in. Oh my god, we were in the air for a little bit too long, it seems. Or like just for a moment, and then suddenly getting caught and jumping back, going for the nail. Something very safe, and that's automatically going to catch that DP out.
I'm surprised. Because can't move. She has an air DP, yeah? Weird. Maybe he caught him doing something else, or just was a little surprised by it. But there's no perfect situation there, of course, and sometimes things happen. So we're going into possible last game for the set.
You can tell a Random Nail is kind of using as like Hail Mary. It's like, oh yeah, you're probably not going to react to it, like because you see the screen flash and you immediately have to react. Like, oh, he's going for the air command grab super, right? And then now I'm like, oh, immediately you got to be on top of getting that TP input in, or getting that OD in, right? So you need to immediately, on a snap of fingers, be ready to react to it.
For sure, but we are seeing the start of some Mu offense here. Gonna set up some more drones. Oh my gosh, nice TRM setup, just committed to the 2 with 5As.
Okay, straight into the super.
Man, this character's so cool. Gonna take that first round. The Mu is doing some work, finally getting on the board. Ooh, okay. Gonna get a nice counter at 5B here with some poison going to the corner, getting our unlocks on the seals.
Uh-oh. Whiffing the knockdown.
Oh my gosh, but not blocking the 5C on the landing.
Blocking those bits. Oh, getting caught by those air knuckles though. OD activation. There's the punish. We should be able to finish this off here. Granted, we don't drop. There we go. Close it out. EA. Clean.
Yeah, that 5C is very disjointed and can be really tough to deal with, but Don was like a little bit too close there on that OD activation, so gets punished for it. Here's the last chance for this Don, or for this Moo, for Moo's Don, yep, or for Don's Moo. Oh my god, I can't speak tonight.
There we go.
We have some very exciting matchups. Oh my gosh, Drive Explosion very plus, gotta be a little careful.
Poisonous Fly, that's going to be ticking down even more of a Dawn's health bar right now. 3.6k, well, that's a lie. Bumper applied, DP attempt, and that's actually going to be the first DP that lands. Unfortunately for Moo, that DP has very limited range, so far Random Nail has been doing a great job at evading all of it until now, as Dawn has him into the corner for a pretty dominant control of the screen here. Trying to make his way out, getting caught once again, spending that burst, and now we're trying to make things work.
Oh, the laser's still active even when she's getting hit. I want to call to attention, by the way, how Dawn counter hit the 60. I believe 60 is the drive from Bang that has the least like active. I know they're not armor frames, but like armor frames. So depending on how you structure your staggers, it is possible to counter hit him out of it, and I think that is what ended up to Dawn taking that.
I just called him guard point.
Guard points, yes, that's the word I was looking for. I was like, they're not armor, but like, I can't remember the word for it right now.
They work a little bit differently.
Alrighty. Doing a little bit of air stall with the drones into the J2C. What a scary normal, and we're gonna get a little weird cross-up situation here. Great overdrive through the 3C, but we're gonna keep it safe.
Interesting conversion there. Yeah, we went for like a very weird cross-up after that combo as well.
That space 6B is so hard to block. Such a fast overhead. Or 6D. Or no, 6B. I was right the first time. Gosh, these sets are too exciting. I can't speak. Ooh. Punishing the drive teleport. So we're going into the reversal super anyways in the scrambly situation.
To the wall. RC set up the nail umbrella. Dawn having to hold all that. Getting opened by the overhead. Immediately going to confirm here into the OD finisher. Interesting. Could we have killed without the OD? I think we could have. Though I'm not going to speak too much of this. Let's speak too much on that matter.
Yeah, as long as you take the round in the end, ultimately, probably what Random Nail is thinking.
Also, you're going down on those resources too, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Can definitely be detrimental going into this next round, but so far, Random Nail has been doing a good job despite that, so maybe it's not too much of a worry. But it's definitely a worry now that you don't have burst to get out of this entire sequence that Dawn is putting a Random Nail in.
Oh, the empty low off the jump and drones holding things down. Yeah, I'm sure he definitely would have liked to have that overdrive when he was getting hit by that 6B that put him in this situation. And all for that, you're eating this super into death. Dawn tying things up. We're on to final game, final round. Oh my gosh.
Are we? I think Dawn's at one game, right?
No, Dawn's on two, right?
No, you're right. My bad. I forgot. He won one with Relius. He won one with Relius.
Oh my gosh. Big life deficit here from Dawn, but here we go. Here's the chance to come back. We're going to have a chance to set up some drone Oki here. We'll see how Random Nail fights out. Oh, a rollout is the answer. Oh my gosh.
Burst from a Random Nail into the slide. He caught him. Burst from Dawn will connect. That laser will whiff, but that laser from the bit will still catch him in the air. The nails cover his approach, and it connects with Dawn to give Random Nail the KO. So fitting, finishing off with those 3 Random Nails flying across the screen. Looking so clean. So clean.
Yeah.
As he moves through into winner's side grand finals. Kobe cheering his fellow Bang on, his son, he says. And now Dawn sent down to loser's side. And we'll see if Dawn is able to make it to loser's side grand finals, because I think that's certainly a possibility. Whether it's with the Relius or whether it's the Moo, you're definitely going to be seeing him later on the bracket, especially in loser's finals, as we find out who's going to be playing against him in losers finals. As now our next set up is that losers semifinals match that we alluded to before, the Mastfam versus Quetzalgoatl, and looks like he will be opting for the 9. And the idea behind here is that you want to be able to zone out Susano'o, because this is a pretty bad matchup for Susano'o.
Yeah, I saw. I think Mass mentioned before that he wasn't a huge fan of this matchup on the Tigger side anyway, so it works out. Switch to a way better matchup, so
Yeah, but we'll see if it ends up working out. The defense from 9 does leave a little bit to be desired. Also, that movement as well, trying to get around the screen. And also, but you know, that offense can be very strong too against Susano'o in particular because her offense kind of just negates the range of his DP, which is his most potent defensive option. But so far, Quetzalcoatl has been on the offensive this entire time. 5C,
Yeah,
3C, you've been locked in. 2C. Oh, you try to arrow me with a JA. No, that's not going to work out. Quetzalcoatl taking a round. And because this is a first of 2, this is going to be so much more monumental than it would be if it was losers finals. Quetzalcoatl starting us off strong. And Mastfam going for the instant low. There's the gunshots into the skill unlock. And that's going to be the Godfist from Mastfam getting blocked. But Mastfam not going to get blocked that time. And now Mastfam pushing his way in, but also backing up at the same time. Maybe to his deficit as Quetzalcoatl is able to be the one to push him to the corner.
For sure. Press's movement in this matchup and anti-airs too especially have been crazy good so far. Taking a lot of these advantages it feels like 9 would have in this matchup and making them feel like not an advantage at all.
Absolutely, but a mistime meaty from Quetzalcoatl will provide Mastfam a way out. Setting up the freeze, setting up the fairy. Here's the mix-up coming in.
A little hard for 9 to catch those rolls mid-screen with those fairy setups.
This tackle attempt. Oh, and there it is. Quetzalcoatl, I love the patience. Waiting for Mastfam to jump up, and then he went ahead and met him up in the air. Not a lot of teleports coming in from Mastfam as well. He's definitely going for a lot more of like a slower approach with the walking and with the jump forward and jump backs. I think mixing in the teleports would be very beneficial to him, as that's going to make Quetzalcoatl guess a little bit more of where he's going to be ending up. And 9, there's not really a lot of like burst movement options he has available that can get her out of a situation if she makes one wrong move. So mixing those teleports could work out. Just don't use them too much.
For sure, yeah. We're absolutely seeing some of the limitations of 9's movement. You know, she's got that unique movement ability. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, no, this 9 does not seem to be working out, and it feels like second guessing a little bit. Maybe should have picked the Tiger in the long run, as Quetzalcoatl is just absolutely running a train on top of Mastfam in this instance. No burst for the rest of this round. Here's one more mix coming in. Probably going to be a 60. Nope, blocks the super. That's going to be it.
All right, put in Mast on the line here. One last chance.
Hold the phone. Quetzalcoatl looking so strong, immediately spending that burst, getting out of that combo. There's the rock coming in to confirm off of that button. And Mastfam getting pushed back by the Godfist. We have rock into the tank. Good blocks from Quetzalcoatl too. I like how he jumped up for the chicken block. Did not have to worry about the mix. Okay, we have the Morganite setting it up for the low and the cross as well. Quetzalcoatl not ready. I think, was that unblockable? It went a little too fast. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I think I hit on the other side. I don't know if Quetzalcoatl. Oh my god, great bait on the DP. That one also lacking a little bit of range. Just like moves and like we mentioned before. Oh, but there we go. Mast having a chance to slip out there in the air. Gonna just teleport out.
Maybe not for long though.
Put down the fairy, and yeah, Quetz is just like, nah, I'm out. But oh, tagging him in the air. Nice conversion with the rock.
Wow, we went for the burst too. We want this one so bad, but that super is so safe. So Mastfam is going to be in a pretty safe position afterwards, but maybe not for long. We had no socks too, so no access to a DP. So we'll see what this defensive play is going to be. Probably going to be OD. Yeah, there is the OD raid on the spin, but the RC is going to keep it safe. There's the EA coming in, though. Mastfam going to be able to sneak away with that round. Not the best EA in the game, but it certainly did the job in that instance.
Absolutely. Sometimes you got to use what you got to use. Blocking that rock.
Not blocking the Godfist, though. Getting that knockdown. Mastfam going to be able to set up some of those stocks, but these air tiers from Quetzalcoatl have been so clean. DP getting blocked. Mastfam able to stay safe because Quetzalcoatl didn't make a whiff. Overhead coming in. Double overhead. RC keeping that pressure going.
Yeah, that hit stop OS on the DP was real sick. Which I'm not able to punish, but getting the roll drops a little bit. Great patience from Mast, just blocking it out.
Tackle in into DP. All these negative frames.
Oh, yeah, Mast is looking for that TC. But unfortunately, it's like you can just keep doing it.
Oh
my gosh.
2C, 2C, 2C. One of them will work eventually. And in that instance, too, Mastfam was like above him most of the time vertically, and he didn't really have tools like Rock to punish him for going for those anti-air attempts. But also
Yeah.
at the same time, Quetzalcoatl was like, really fishing for it. He's like, you know, I want this 2C. I want it now.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's like you said. I don't think that Mast was really giving him a reason to like doubt his anti-airs. So like, why not hit 2C over and over? It's pretty good.
And
It's
there are
serviceable.
like some good buttons that Nine has access to that can reach pretty far downwards, but at the same time, they don't reach far downwards enough to where that 2C is going to be feeling threatened. Great stuff to Quetzalcoatl, really making quick work of that set and bringing himself to losers finals, a position he is rather comfortable with, but he definitely wants that losers grand final spot. Playing against Dawn. Dawn still locking in to the Moo. Maybe just having a Moo day at this point, not really caring to play with the Relius, and that's completely fair. But let's see what response Quetzalcoatl has to this character, because Moo is definitely a good pick into Susano'o.
Definitely. And hey, you know what? If you see in the mid tonight, I'm not complaining. I'm a huge fan of this character. I think she's sick. Oh my god, that laser. Not going away on hit. Once she commands it, those guys are still going. Oh my god, great 6A anti-air. Okay, we're going all the way to the other corner.
Yeah, no, that's not really that scary of a whiff. Using that backdash to move himself out of the way.
Great. Oh my gosh, it whiffed. I didn't Quetz block that anyways, but he confirmed on that whiff on the 6B and was able to turn into a combo. Catching these tech outs, gonna convert into something with the RC. But Don's like, oh, I'm on the other side. Let me burst and take my turn back. Unfortunately, not really representing anything that scary. Quetz able to just back up and whiff punish with the 6B on the landing. Take that first round. Really convincing.
Hey, round number 2. Quetzalcoatl starting things off safe. There's the 5A into the trying to bait out an IAD attempt from Dawn. But Dawn not biting, so Quetzalcoatl going to take a little bit of damage in the process. But these air-to-airs consistently been so clean for Quetzalcoatl. And these confirmed off the air-to-airs have also been just as good. As you can see, all the advantages he gets off of any openings he finds. Having DP unlocked, having Grand Viper unlocked. DP not going to be as useful against Moo as it is against other characters. So I think in this instance, Quetzalcoatl may be trying to look for the sword instead.
Ooh. Can be useful in the mid screen when she doesn't have a bunch of drones locking you down too. There's the CA back, doesn't want to block. 6A whiffing there, but oh my gosh. Oh my god, big 6C whiff. It's like you talked about before. That normal definitely has its weaknesses. It's very, you know, exposed on whiff. It has like a dead zone in the middle too.
Is very negative, has a big blind spot. So 6C is not really always going to be, not really the best option to be tossing out of neutral. It does work a lot of time. It does work in some cases. And it's good too. As like a counter zoning tool as well. Yeah, fatal as well. But oftentimes you're only going to be seeing 6C in filler for combo filler just because it leaves you so vulnerable and it can be so risky.
We got this like cotton candy Moo color now too, which is pretty cool. Oh my gosh, yeah, Quetz is just looking for these. Like, go ahead, DP. I'm waiting. Oh my god,
yeah,
but the
that
second hit 6B.
Right behind him, staring him down. But that tackle getting Quetzalcoatl out of the corner,
so
but not
fast.
for long. Okay, tossing to mid screen, not going to be a corner combo though.
And it's so hard, even with the DP unlock, to challenge that meaty 5C just because it's so disjointed. Oh my god, but yeah, the 6B RC into the low when you're expecting the high. So potent, and we're just going to go right into the super to close things up. Dawn on the board.
Looking a lot stronger in this round compared to the first game that Quetzalcoatl took. Backdash, playing around that 6B.
Gosh, and that J2C is so hard to deal with. Such a big normal. And again, like we've seen, Quetz is really on top of his defense and blocking these overheads, but that second hit 6B is just, like I've said, really, really hard to block.
And now this is where things get really suffocating. If you're Quetzalcoatl against Moo in the corner, all these bits is just having a party on you right now. Well, say hello to my friends.
Oh, not biting on the TRM setup. But those lasers are going to hold down the corner. Quetz is still stuck there, but the JA coming down. Ooh, okay.
Oh, we get
What a
eliminated.
punish!
Quetzalcoatl still not able to unlock any of his skills, but will be able to unlock them now. Ground Viper. Here's the combo. There it is. On your wake up. Oh my god. Okay. Oh no, he's
Why
going to do it
not?
again.
Oh,
He's
big
gonna do it again.
whiff!
He's going to do it again. Oh god. Okay. Well, it's not DPRC there, but it's going to be the 5C catching the whiff on Dawn. And suddenly, wow, blink and you miss it. That round completely disappeared the moment that Quetzalcoatl got out.
Oh my gosh, and the momentum is definitely looking good. Gonna step back to... Oh my gosh, yeah, just like that Dawn is out while it was speaking. You blink and you miss it, like you were saying.
Setting up all the bits once again in the corner. Lots of backdashing from Quetzalcoatl, and that time it worked out. It made an awkward confirm for Dawn, so he couldn't get a proper punish on it.
For sure, but that weird little delay to the 6B there, catching cuts. Gotta block all these lasers in the air. Yep, wait until the lasers are gone before you use that CA. Very smart. Those things won't stop for anything. We're gonna get a nice little combo here. We've got a good few unlocks. This is gonna hurt a decent bit. Oh my gosh, and catching the roll! I feel like Dawn's been very roll happy tonight, and absolutely gonna pay for it.
Dude, Quetzalcoatl is playing so clean right now, but now there's a character swap. Oh, we're going back to Relius? We're thinking about it.
Ooh, the Ragna. I think last time I was on
No,
BBB,
not
I
the
saw
Ragna.
the Dawn Ragna, and
Bro.
he made it.
Darn.
In his
Ragna.
defense, he did make it work a little bit the last time I saw it, but I definitely I share the sentiment. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if this is the path forward in this particular circumstance, but we shall see.
Bro, it's like when I see the 9 come out from Mass. It's like, well, actually, no, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. But like, dude, the Ragna. Okay, hold on. We're gonna let Dawn cook, right? We're gonna let Don do his thing. We're gonna see what he does.
Yeah.
And right now, Don's doing a pretty decent job. There's a nice confirm. Bring him to the corner. Great corner carry as well. But not getting the knockdown. And that's going to be much to his detriment, as now Quetzalcoatl is going to be the one with the advantage as he stays grounded, is able to react to that anti-air there. React for that anti-air. 2C, huge. Oh, and that spacing perfect for the 5C. DP with 60 fatal counter, and Quetzalcoatl going to be taking that round, bringing us to set point. Oh my gosh, he is on a steamroll right now. One more round is all we need. One more point is all we need, and Dawn is crumpling.
Unfortunate. Sorry about that stream. We had a little bit of a DC. The Blaze report has its issues, but here comes Dawn looking to swing things around after losing the first round.
I was commentating in a set that y'all couldn't see, but hopefully y'all understood what was going on. Quetzalcoatl almost getting that OD back. We should be at full pips now. Good block so far. Oh, but we can have barrier up, so we're going to be getting hit by that crush trigger. Block opened up. There's the knockdown that Dawn was looking for before. Late air dash, overhead, good blocks from Quetzalcoatl. Ragna's pressure can be a little bit linear.
Oh my god, the whip punish into the TRM? On the purple throw?
Trying to bait out a burst, I think. Quetzalcoatl, of course, not going to bite. He has way too little health to be trying to go for any attempts to win this round.
How did he get TRM there? That was crazy. But we had the honorary perfect there with the regen HP. Nice whip punish on the 5V.
Dude, these 5Cs with punishes from Quetzalcoatl have been so clean this entire night.
Yeah, absolutely. That normal is ridiculous. Got a nice counter confirm on the 5A. Great punish though on the tackle.
Burst comes out finally. Still looking pretty even. Alright. Falling JA. Going to open him up. Ooh, there's the whiff punish. And that right there, that whiff DP was Dawn giving Quetzalcoatl that win on a silver platter. Quetzalcoatl moving through the bracket, and finally we're at grand finals. What a ride it has been so far, and honestly, it's been a pretty short night so far. I mean, we've had players like Quetzalgoatl just completely dominating the bracket this entire night. And now I'm excited to see how this grand finals is going to shake up, as now we're with two of the players who have just been running through this entire bracket looking so clean. Random Nail and Quetzalcoatl.
Awesome. They didn't play before, did they? Or am I crazy?
I
I don't think they did play before. No.
No. Actually, you know what? You're gonna make me double check. I'm gonna double
No,
check.
no. I just checked. We're good. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, because Quetz lost to Don, and now has defeated Don, and now we'll have you're gonna have to make a run against a random now from losers. Yeah, random nail untouched in this bracket, not losing to anybody, so we'll see if that holds true. Quetz is gonna have to make quite a climb to make that happen, like I mentioned a little bit before. But as we're going into this grand finals, just one last reminder, we do have a Matcherino in the chat. If you can go ahead and click on that. Let me drop it in chat, Matcherino. Guys, all right. Yeah. Go ahead and do those quests that we have in chat there. They should take you just a second. They are all free. They will contribute towards the prize pool in today's bracket. Let's see, how much do we got so far?
We're still at, hold on, let me reset. Let's see what
we're it looks
0.
Yeah, we still are 0. Unfortunately, you know what? Let me go speak to my own word and do some of those quests. But yeah, if you guys in the chat can go ahead. What was that?
I tried to claim them, but they just don't work for me.
Huh? Have they been broken this whole time?
I don't know. They'll probably work for other people, but I know they've always been like weirdly broken for me for whatever reason. Anyways, of course, go ahead and donate to the Matcherino as well if you like, to support not only the stream but also the players, and just help out the scene a little bit. But now we're getting into grand finals, so enough of the shill. We're here for the final event of the night. Quetzalcoatl coming in from the loser side, and what a loser's run it has been. And look, he is already running through a random nail in the first round, at least at the round start. It's going to be highly dependent on how this round is going to go, is how random nail plays this defense so far and getting caught out. Here's the sword loops here in the corner, ground viper popping him up, gain the final unlock that he's looking for, and there's the tech from a random looking clean, but there's the explosion, which is going to interrupt Quetzalcoatl and bring things back in a random nail's favor.
Oh, I think you might have been trying to OD that through that, but getting the burst. Quetz is back in this though. Gonna get that far max range conversion. A little bit of a drop though, but not too much healthier from for a random nail. Excuse me. Oh, but here we go. Here's the hits you need with the poison ticking down too. Oh my god, another 5C. Just keep doing it.
How many are going to pelt him with? What in the world?
With a big whiff on the 2D. You know, bro, I feel like I mentioned this. I was going to say, actually, speaking of the guys, yeah, a random nail has been just letting them rip the whole night. And this is the first time I feel like I've seen him very heavily punished for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very deliberately.
You're a terrible father. Why did you teach him that? Oh my dear lord.
Ooh,
okay, anyways, Quetzalcoatl still with one round on the board over a random nail. That DP is going to go through. Overhead whiffing, no whiff punish from a random nail though. Yeah, Kobe, I can tell. 2C, great anti-air, and still able to clean that one up. Okay. Dancing around here. Okay, going in for the throw. Tacking on a little bit more damage. Back up, right back in. Quetzalcoatl maybe trying to press something, or trying to jump out, is going to get caught.
Ooh, unfortunately, I was about to say great block on the nails, but the overhead is very tricky to block, especially when a random nail heads on into overdrive.
Absolutely. Yeah, random nails, his usage of OD is very interesting because he's always using it to close out games, which honestly that was probably his only way to close out the game right there. But he's always using it to close out games, and that's always putting him at a bit of a disadvantage whenever we go into these final round situations, because he's always using it, and then other players always has that OD or that burst on the line before him.
Oh my gosh, the throw situation into the drive explosion. Quetz is going to burst. Wants out of there. Oh my god, the poison ticking. Unfortunate. But the big whiff on the...
Right over the drive normal. It's...
Oh!
Quetzalcoatl using his only God Press of the match so far, and unfortunately not able to keep a random nail stuck in the corner after his lose. Random nail's like, you know what? You're going to take yourself to the corner with that one. But now we're reversing the situation again. I don't even know how they swap sides in that instance. It just so happened, and now Quetzalcoatl has a random nail back into the corner where he got him in the first place. Teleport out, backing up, tossing all those nails. That's not going to work out though. None of them hitting. These air tears on point. Quetzalcoatl finding the hit with the 5C, and Quetzalcoatl going to be running off with the first game of Grand Finals.
He really held it down in the neutral there. Didn't let a random nail kind of toss nails, funnily enough, and secure an advantage. And
yeah,
that's how the play got him that game.
Looks like we're having some connection issues, but the players seem to be okay with how the connection is treating them. So we're going to continue through the bracket, and it looks like we're just going to keep on going until we have some problems later on. Anyways, Quetzalcoatl doing a good job blocking that out, but a random nail keeping this air pressure going, making sure that he gets back down on the ground, where it is going to be a much better situation for Nail, because that's going to give him more space to work with when it comes to setting up those nails in the air. But he also needs to get out of this corner, so he's going to be popping that OD, trying to use it as a defensive. That's going to be a counter hit. I think that tried to have been a dash out, but the problem with these OD dashes is that they are all counter hit state. So Quetzalcoatl getting a massive conversion off the fact that Random Nail tried to escape the corner, and now he's stuck with little resources and little health, but he can definitely still make something work, especially with the mirror he has available, and all the nails he still has available as well. 10 nails still in stock.
Alright, Quetzalcoatl does not want to block. Understandable. Wants to fish for a little bit. Oh my gosh. Yeah, see, I love how Quetzalcoatl is maneuvering in the air, just letting a random nail whiff a lot of those 2Ds especially. But you gotta block this very scary bang pressure. Those overheads are very menacing. It's not even to speak of the command grab, but Quetzalcoatl weathered the storm. Going into an overdrive. I don't think this quite punishes anything. Yeah, it's like the end of 2D, but the nice jump back.
I think a reset is definitely possible. Quetzalcoatl.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think that's. Oh no, he's dropped one round. He's dropped one round.
Yes.
But so far, Quetzalcoatl's still been just looking so strong despite that one round loss.
Ooh.
I mean, look at this round start, popping him up. Quetzalcoatl in the driver's seat and random now, not even having the pleasure of being in the shotgun. He's in the back seat right now. in the booster seat even.
Not the booster seat.
is driving him in the direction that he wants to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Should be safe with this 5A. But we do have the maximum timer, but you're gonna get counter hit for it, like you mentioned.
Again, trying to escape the corner with the dash. And the dash is such a good defensive tool. It's such a good offensive tool. But you got to be so careful if the other player is the one with that frame advantage. And in that case, that was obviously Quetzalcoatl. I mean, he just went for something so non-committal like a 5A, and that's enough to get a 5A counter hit on Bang in that instance, and that's going to confirm right into a real combo.
Awesome. So 2-0 situation here, looking for the reset already. It feels like this just started, and Kretz is already like, yeah, all right, we'll get this done, even with some connection issues. Oh, again, see like the 2D whiffing, and that's why I think it's so smart. Kretz is just playing in the air, taking advantage of Bang's less than stellar anti-air options.
Based on how this is running, Quetzalcoatl could definitely take this 3-0 reset here. One more game and 2 more rounds to go. And look at I mean, just one more combo is all we're going to be needing against Random Nail in this instance. Avoiding all these nails from Random Nail, and so far, it's a bit ironic his name, because it feels like his nail placements have just not been working out. We're seeing a surprising lack of like the triple nails. So because of that, Quetzalcoatl is just like, yeah, I don't really care. I can easily avoid these single poison nails that you're constantly tossing out.
For sure, yeah. Feels like the nails are a little too random, if anything.
I don't know. I feel like they're too predictable.
I get that,
rather than random. Yeah, see like that, the explosion nail coming in. That's also like knowing that it's going to come, going to respect it. And then now look, he's pushing the advantage once again now that he got that knockdown from full screen. And with that gunshot continuing to lock him down, Quetzalcoatl is continuing to be that giant snowball that a Random Nail cannot push back up the hill. Quetzalcoatl going to be starting us off very patient. There's a tackle trying to get in early hits to push him in forward, but instead we're going to be seeing an explosion coming in from a Random Nail. tacking on some extra damage at this round start. 5A, keeping him locked in. Knockdown should be in order in all 4 seals as well. Nail umbrella set, I think? Nope, bumper.
God seems content to block out, but you can't block this command grab. This character's offense can be so strong. And look at all that. All that off of, like, finally, you know, getting a good hit off the defensive drive, right? Like, even though Quetz has been dealing with them really well, like, that's the character's game plan. And ultimately, the 2A is going to catch him. Random Nail back on the board again.
Yeah, in that instance, Quetzalcoatl really was just fishing for staying alive as long as possible so that we could get full OD by the time this round started. And now we are starting off with full OD gauge against Ramnail with also the same deal. So we're pretty even on the resource game. And Quetzalcoatl, though, going to be going a little bit up in the resource game as we unlock our DP. Ramnail still unable to get any of the seals, but should be able to get some seals unlocked with this combo here. 2 seals and a bumper. No, 3 seals. 4 seals? There we go. It's always surprising how many seals you can unlock off just any straight hit. 2C though on a defense. Grand Viper to bring him to the mid screen, unlocking another special along the way, which is the DPR.
Oh, it hits on the other side too.
Yeah, that basically just like kind of OS any mix-up Ramnail would try to go for with that OD dash, and that is going to be it. What a DPRC call out, and Quetzalcoatl going to be getting us the reset so quickly. 3-0. Tanara-kun in the chat said it the best. We may be crowning a new winner tonight if a random nail can't stop him.
Yeah, it's looking real scary. The Susan momentum, both in the games themselves and the set count, is just like something to be reckoned with. Nothing to be reckoned with? I don't forget how that saying goes. Stream's been going on for a bit. My brain's kind of melted.
Something to be reckoned with?
Yeah, that means it's scary, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was right the first time, but I'm second guessing myself.
No, sometimes I mix up the wording of a lot of different phrases to where like it sounds right at first until you think about it and like, wait a minute.
Right,
that doesn't make any sense.
For sure. Listen, man. I had my 9 to 5 coming to some high octane Blaze Blue right after. Like,
dude, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm always in the same boat as well. Usually I wake up at like 5 a.m. in the morning, but I'm still here playing Blaze Blue. Not 5 a.m. today. No. I woke up at noon.
That's good.
Way later than normal. But anyways, that just means I have a lot more energy to bring us into the grand finals reset. A random nail and Quetzalcoatl back on even footing, resetting that bracket score to a 0-0. And Quetzalcoatl is finally going to be getting an advantage over a random nail in this set count, it seems like. Oh my god, the overhead hitting as well. Everything is going correctly for Quetzalcoatl after that early OD spend. I mean, this might be a perfect 5C counter, but doesn't fully confirm. Getting out of the corner. I mean, Quetzalcoatl's so clean on the anti-air. Could not be stressed enough.
Absolutely. I'm so surprised that hit on like the other side. The JA. That JA is massive. He's a big boy. Great 2A match after all those IVs. Quetz's defense always, like, especially playing against him, I'm like, dude, he is a fortress sometimes. Oh, explosion bomb catching Quetz during that 5B. Isn't quite getting anything off of it though. But that, oh my god, the drive explosion with the poison ticket. Quetz is melting right now.
DPR once again, pop him up. This time is looking to be so much more in Quetzalcoatl's favor as well, because remember that Akin set, the DPRCs were getting blocked a lot of the time, and it was really just being used as a neutral skip. But in this instance, Random Nail is playing so aggressive that he's being caught by so many of these DPRCs, and it's so useful too because it counters so many of Bang's offensive options, whether it's the OD like we saw before, or it's like the teleports, right? Because you're just going to be covering both those sides and staying so active.
Absolutely. Random Nail on the board yet again.
Into the low tackle. Quetzalcoatl instantly going for a throw, kicking him to the ground. There's a teleport coming in. Quetzalcoatl going to get caught by it. We have DP. We have Godpress as well. Dude, it might come out pretty soon here. 5C catching the roll into the burst. Random Nail in critical health. We're going to be needing an IV taped to his arm because right now that's exactly what he needs. He needs something to get him through this game, and it's looking like it's all Quetz. It's all Quetz this time. DPRC keep him locked down. falling down with a button. Random now respecting it, and Quetzalcoatl allowed to fall to the ground with no anti-air in sight.
Yeah, it's looking like the season train is still going strong in this second set.
Yeah, I think right
no
now
sign of stopping.
what's really giving Quetzalcoatl the edge right now, I guess, is the fact that Random Nail, I feel, is not able to control neutral as effectively with nails as I think he would like. And also the fact that he's not really checking Quetzalcoatl for anything, for any overextensions during offense, it feels like. Like, he's not checking him for going for these re-jump pressure. He's not checking him when he goes for all the gaps in his pressure, or making sure that he regrets spending the meter on something like a DPRC. But in this instance, maybe it is going in Random Nail's favor, as he's going to be getting a really nice confirm starting us off. But now he's stuck in the corner, a situation that we're so comfortable with now, as he's going to be blocking all of this, and now not being able to block that crush trigger, as he is not holding up that barrier. Quetzalcoatl getting another nice confirm, unlocking more of those specials, has sword, has DP, has the... Wait, hold on. Yeah, has the screen positioning. Blocking the nail. Getting hit low. Opened up. That's a mid-screen. All these nails being tossed out, but none of them keeping Quetzalcoatl locked down. 60 getting blocked, but there's not low afterwards.
Now tons of meter you gotta watch out here for.
Coming in. JC. Oh dear, that's it. Oh no. Random Nail spending that burst. Might have been too. Okay. Okay. That was just the first round here. So now we're going into the second round. This is such a worse position for a Random Nail, more so than it is when he pops OD, because it takes so much longer for that OD gauge to regen after you spent a burst. And you can see right now, Random Nail has only 3 pips, and it's going to be a while. Quetzalcoatl could definitely finish off this round before he gets burst back. A great anti-air coming in with that tackle. Into the God press, and we're going to be getting the combo extension off it as well. No drops this time. Quetzalcoatl, one more game on the board and one more to go to take grand finals.
Gosh, like I honestly love the use of that God press there, especially off like the staggered 5As, with like how well Quest is covering.
But here we go. That was his second God press of the set. So
oh yeah,
you know what that means. It means you're not allowed any more God presses, because the other player is going to be aware that you're going for it.
That is true.
That's the joke I made. Because it has a bit of truth to it as well. You only are limited to like 1 or 2 God presses to catch them off guard, and once you start overusing it, then it's like, okay, now you're going to get punished.
For sure, yeah. Oh my gosh, commentator missed times there. I think it looked like to me. That's gonna make him hurt for it.
Oh my god, looking so good. I like the usage of the OD off that confirm as well to get all of those seals unlocked, and also be able to do a lot of damage by having all those seals unlocked through the OD. But look at getting off this confirm. That's 6k? Dude,
jeez.
6k damage off of that alone. Ram now needs this round. Oh god.
Oh, big counter it.
Don't let it end this way. Aran now has that active flow, so that OD gauge is recovering a lot faster.
Rise in the burst,
Katie got the burst. Okay, Ramnell now actually poised to take a game off of Quetzalcoatl if he takes one more round. Took that burst away from Quetzalcoatl, and that's a massive error from Quetzalcoatl in that instance.
Yeah, this is absolutely how things change around. Big counter there. Oh my god, there's a burst back. That's a lot of the advantage lost, especially with a life deficit like this.
Okay, the DP going to get counter hit by the teleport, but unfortunately not able to get a full combo off of it. Been unlocking the orb.
Ooh.
Can be useful in niche situations in this matchup, especially right there in that combo to push him closer to the wall to make sure that we clean up our rooting. But unfortunately, our rooting was not clean enough as we dropped the combo at the end. Ragna still alive and kicking. He definitely wants to take this round if possible, or at least stay long enough to where he's able to recover more of that OD gauge by start of that next round. And I think he's accomplished that goal with 7 pips on the board. Yeah, great double jump there. Quetzalcoatl on tournament point.
It's definitely winnable for both players, but one absolutely needs it more than the other to stay alive. Great quick rise yet again.
This has got to feel good if you're on tournament point, and that's how you start. But Random Nail is not going to go down without a fight. There's the cross up, double cross it. Counter hit into the burst instantly from Random. He tries to toss out a nail in that instance, but that was the wrong nail he went for. way too harsh of an angle. That's not going to catch Quetzalcoatl as he goes in that blind spot. One more opening, but gets hit by the super. Using it as a reversal, able to get out. Still has a lot of health to chew through, though. So he's going to be playing this a lot safer than normal. Tossing out these nails, back it up. Trying to keep Quetzalcoatl zoned out for a little bit longer. There's an overhead attempt, though, and the OD is going to go right through. Quetzalcoatl is your winner with a 6-0 Grand Finals victory here in the Raven Online tonight.
Absolutely. What a way to end it, too. I feel like Klez made that entire run through other matches, too. Very much based on his great defense, so a nice defensive overdrive through a very hard to block overhead. It's a good way to close things out.
And close things out is what happened here. Thank you all for showing up to the stream, playing in the tournament. It was a pleasure commentating the bracket for y'all tonight, along with redmagemorgan. Hopefully you all had a great time as well, and we got a lot more of these tournaments coming in the future, as always. But redmagemorgan, Tanara-kun, y'all have any final words?
Just want to say it's been a great time commentating as well. As always, very much recommend giving the channel a follow if you want to see more tournaments in the future. I'm pretty sure we're here almost every Thursday. Tanara can correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure unless something happens.
Yeah, which is awesome to see. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead. But we're pretty much here, yeah, every Thursday, except for like weekends that are majors that like I'm attending. So like next week is Slashback, so I'm not attending that, but like we'll definitely try and pay attention to it. But if it's like an Evo or a Combo Breaker or a CEO this year, we will not be having brackets like that, and also just if I'm unavailable that week.
Awesome. Well, if you want to be notified about when that's happening, definitely should give Tanara-kun a follow. Just to stay notified on those on any of the platforms available. Yeah, there you go.
And also I have social media, but also, yeah, no, this was an excellent bracket. Congratulations to Quetzalcoatl for your first TRO win. And if you guys want to play more BlazBlue, we have a small little segment at the end of every one of our brackets where we like to give shoutouts to the other BlazBlue brackets happening throughout the week. So, for example, next week we are going to be coming back here on Thursday the 10th. TRO number 21 is happening. So, join us next week. Sign-ups for that should be coming out tomorrow morning, or at least tomorrow at some point. Everyone should be signing up. It's Kokanoe and Lychee on the cover. Come on, jingle, jingle, anime fans. Jingle, jingle. Come look, it's two waifus on the screen. Jingle, jingle. But aside from that, while Boston Bluebee may be taking a small break so that they can they can prepare for their burst limit bracket, there are other brackets happening. So, for example, on Sunday, April 6th, the Witching Hour run comes back for their second week. That's run by Beatrice Renhart, who we did see in the bracket, not on stream, but did get a nice run. I believe went a nice 1 and... Oh, no, a nice 0 and 2. Oh, well.
Yeah, 0 and 2.
Unfortunate runs there, but that's okay. Come out. She does a great time. She has a great bracket. I had an excellent time commentating that last week. It was great. So absolutely come out and show them. And if you want to get into this game, you see this game, man, this game is so cool. Which is correct, because it is the greatest fighting game of all time. And you were like, I want to get into this, but I'm kind of intimidated by this bracket. It seems like there's a lot of high-level players. Well, guess what? We have an entire partnership over at the Training Mode Network, Neo. This is an organization that is dedicated to helping people learn, especially older fighting games, so games like CF, Tag, Exerd, Persona 4 Arena. They just had a bracket for that tonight. Grand Blue is a little newer, but they do run that. And yeah, it's just a place where people come together to learn different fighting games, and they have bi-weekly beginner, intermediate skill level brackets for each of those games. Blaze Lose runs on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock bi-weekly. So that'll happen next week on Wednesday, April 9th. So if you're a little lower level player and you want to check out an environment that's a little bit more, maybe your skill level, maybe a bit more comfortable for you, definitely check them out. I am working on getting a TMN command that has like links to their social medias and stuff like that, especially to their Discord. So yeah, please check them out. And with that being said, that should be everything. So I guess we'll go ahead and get things going. Thank you so much to our wonderful commentators for holding things down in the nest. redmagemorgan, if people were to find you, where should you be found?
I can be found on Blue Sky and Twitter, unfortunately, under the same name, redmagemorgan, all one word. I don't chat on there too much. I just kind of like retweet anime girl art, but if you want to give me a follow, I'll at least retweet when I'm up and commentating again. So yeah.
Awesome. And Salté, if people were to find you anywhere, where should you be found?
Find me on Twitter as well at the saltshaker_, and of course any other tournament, whether it's online or offline, I'll be there in some way, shape, or form.
Hell yeah. Alright, my friends, with that being said, we do have our raid target, so just stick around and give these people some love. Give Shofu some love. Thank you so much to everyone for sticking by. Thank you for stopping by and playing. Thank you for stopping by and watching. And that is our bracket for this week. See you next week, everybody.
See ya.
Have a great one.
And #PlayCF.
So true.